Visitors, how exciting.
All right. All right. It's time. It's time. It is Friday. It is Friday. Yep. Yep. The most important day of the year. Independence Day, the 4th of July. That's right. That's right. Most importantly, it's the 4th of July finally. So happy America Day to my American brothers and sisters. To celebrate the 4th of July, I am going to honor the United States of America. Yep. We are going to have Capitalism Friday. Yep, that means this stream is entirely pay to win. Okay? Approval from streamer, laughing at dumb memes. It's all pay to win today. Okay? It is going to be capitalism at its finest to honor our American brothers and sisters, make them feel most comfortable. So, good morning, guys. What's up? Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to the VOD. Good to see y'all. It is Fan Art Friday, the first iteration of it in a long time, and what a day to start it off with, man. Thank you, Say, for the raid. I appreciate it. I'm sorry to hear you have a headache, but have you considered not try it? Give it a try sometime. It works really well. So I'm sorry to hear that, Say. I'm glad you got some stream in there, you know, just chilling out. But man, welcome back. Good to see you guys. If you guys aren't following Say, I know Say got here a little early, but if you aren't following Say, please go over and give Say a follow. Good times over there all the time, especially when Dark is harassing her. So Rumi, yes, it is Rumi Arts Day today. I decided to bring back an ancient tradition in my stream. That's right, Fan Art Friday, because I want to. Because I want to. Screw it. I don't answer to anybody. I don't answer to anybody, bro. Listen, I can do what I want. I can do Fan Art Fridays. Y'all don't have to get on my ass about, oh, Evan, you're behind on your commissions, you're late on your something. I don't know what it is. I don't care, man. I want to do some fan art today. Just chill out. So, good morning, Bricklin. Good morning, Frog. Good morning, Say. Good morning, Cass. Good morning, Steel. Happy birthday, bro. Good morning, BM. Good morning, Cass. Let's go in YouTube. Damn, Cass gets 2. Good morning, Stun. Good morning, Leo. What's up, Buns? Good to see you guys. Did I miss anybody? Oh, shit. Good morning, Jacob and Ernesto. And even Ashy of Heart. Bro, we need to talk about this. Last night, we had D&D. What a game. What a game. It was probably Ashy's greatest performance as a GM I've ever seen. We had a range of emotion. There was laughter, hilarious side-splitting, bone-crushing laughter. Yep, if you didn't know, laughter could be bone-crushing. And there were tears, man. There was morbid sobbing. Not by me, because I'm a man, but by the other players, because they're all girls, and they cry at D&D. I don't. Come on, bro. Right? Mm-hmm. That was a good game. We did not lose anybody last night. We didn't lose anybody, thankfully, but we almost lost everybody. So, Ashy always jokes about this TPK shit, man. But we almost lost it last night. We lost the party. We did kill an innocent attendant, though, who just came to wake us up too early, but Ulner thought that he was an enemy and rolled for combat, and so we aggroed the entire bar, basically. Like, you know what it was like? You ever play a game, like maybe Baldur's Gate, and there's like an NPC or whatever, and if you accidentally attack the NPC, the entire like tavern turns red? That's what happened. Yeah. That's what happened. So we had to kill the entire tavern, everyone, barmaids to innkeepers, innocent bystanders, patrons. We had to just cover that bar in the blood of the innocent because they thought that we were the villains. Now we were, mainly Ulner because she killed the attendant. But you know, it's fine. We almost died. We almost lost the entire game there, right then and there. But you know, she's a great GM, so we managed to. Yeah, it was good, man. Good morning, Atari. What's up, bro? Happy 4th of July, Atari. That's right. I'm guessing you have the day off. Time for fireworks, time for whatever else. I don't know what you guys do on 4th of July. I want to go down to America one day for 4th of July, and I want to celebrate it with some American friends sometime, somewhere, where they actually celebrate that shit. All right? I want to do all sorts of American shit. I want to go down there. I want to ride in an ATV. I want to go noodling for catfish. I want to go fire weapons at a range. I want to go, I don't know what else is American. I want to go have Jack Daniels. Is that American? I don't know. What else is American? What could I do to learn about my bros and sisters down in the south here of the border? Because in Canada, we don't have any of that. We just have Canadian geese and narwhals, I guess. Narwhals. Four Roses is better. Well, I'm more of a bourbon man, so I wouldn't know. See a drunk person set off explosives. That could be good, you know. That could be okay. Yeah. I'd be fine with that. You know. Maybe. All right. Moose and poutine. That's pretty Canadian. I guess. It has to be Costco poutine, though. It's probably the best poutine in Canada outside of Quebec, but who knows? Well, I hope you guys have a happy and a safe 4th of July. I know y'all like that midsummer celebration. And you know what? I support it. I like it. I like having holidays for basically no reason. I'm that kind of guy. You know, if you tell me that we're all going to celebrate something for no reason, I'm like, okay, cool. Any excuse, you know, right? Like, I always like catch heat from people around Christmas where they're like, man, why do you and Ella celebrate Christmas? Why you go so hard on Christmas, man? You do all the baking, you do all the decorating, you do the lights like a bunch of losers. What's wrong with you? And I always say, I don't care what the excuse is. That life is too short not to make up excuses for having a good time, right? And so if everybody agrees on a random day to have a good time, I'm okay with that, man, you know? So we don't really have much of a Canada Day celebration, which was 3 days ago. But I like that you guys do a big 4th of July type thing. Beaver tails are good. Yes, they are good. I don't think I've had a beaver tail in a while, but not a literal beaver's tail. You can eat a literal beaver's tail. They're okay. I'd pass, you know. Beaver's not the greatest greatest meal, but beaver tails, the pastry, are amazing. My ideal fourth involves something like a lake beach day, floating on the river or something like that, then a cookout. That seems really nice, you know? And that seems like the tradition for a lot of people that I know, right? You get the friends and fam together, you go to the lake, you hit the river, you go to somebody's backyard, you know? Like if you ever have grandparents that live in a house that, you know, they bought in the 1950s or whatever, that has like still those big nice backyards and the old trees and, you know, and in those established ancient neighborhoods with the fucking weird rock side to their houses, and everybody can fit in the backyard, you know, and you got the grill out there. That's a good time, man. That's a good time. So any excuse to celebrate, I guess. One of the few things I enjoy about the 4th is watching all the tractors go by for the parade. What the fuck? Rather than like counting the amount of them from one farm down the road from us, the record is 12. That's impressive. That is pretty rural, actually. Yeah, that's. Well, shoot, that kind of reminds me of home. Well, we'll be doing the most capitalistic American thing we can imagine today, which is, like I said, stream will be pay to win today. So anytime I need to give anyone approval or laugh at your jokes, it will cost you. And I will get back to you in between 8 to never business days. So I don't know what else I can do to make my stream more American, right? We can do fan art. We can make it pay to win. What else can we do to make it more American? Can't really blow it up, you know. Can't do any explosions or heavy drinking. I'm gonna leave that to you guys. How can we make it more American? I could just have Vixie on screen. She's pretty American. I think she's doing the American 4th of July thing today. I don't know, man. You know, a USA flag in the background. I could put the USA flag in the background. That's a good point. You know, I could just like put it on Ella's computer, right? Lots of ice in your drink. Why do you guys like so much ice in your drink? Bro, I see this shit. I see these fucking videos, right? And like you'll be watching a vlog of some American like vlogger or whatever. And they'll be like, yo, come along with me like to this convention or whatever. And they have this like point in time where they go to get a drink, right? At 7-Eleven or some shit. And they'll fill the cup to the top with ice. And then pour in like 3 ounces of soda. Now, I'm not a proponent for over drinking, the overconsumption of soda, all right? Listen, you know, I'm on my health journey, okay? But it does always seem weird to me that there is just, it's basically just drinking water at that point in time, which is, man, very healthy, America. Good job, guys. Good fucking job, right? Oh, you know what I could do? I could also remove all sugar from my iced tea. Not that I drink iced tea, but I could remove all sugar from my iced tea because I know you guys do that for some weird reason. How like American of Canada to automatically put sugar in our cold tea, you know? And we go down to the US and Canadians be like, yo, can I get an iced tea? And they'll be like, okay, sure. And they give you an iced tea and you're like, what the fuck? This is just cold tea. And they're like, yeah, it's an iced tea. Like, there's no sweetness to it. They're like, oh, you want sweet tea. You're like, oh, God. Okay, all right. I ordered the wrong thing. I did that once in Disneyland. Yep, I was in Disneyland when I was like 23 with Ella, and I got an iced tea. They're like, you want an iced tea? All right, here's your fucking iced tea, you weirdo. I got my iced tea, and I was like, what the fuck is this? I think they forgot to put the sugar in it. I think whoever made the iced tea forgot to put the sugar in it. And my American friend was like, no, dude, who puts sugar in their iced tea? I was like, what? They're like, yeah, that makes it sweet tea. Damn, bro, I didn't know. How very American of me to assume that. It's mostly a symbol of American exceptionalism. We don't just get ice. Right. Okay, we get ice. Fuck yeah. Okay. Maybe that's what I should have done for stream. I should have gone to like the 7-Eleven and gotten the biggest of gulp that they can get, that they can pour. You know, like, you know, you get the biggest of gulp, but then there's also like the jugs that are on top of the big gulp thing that you have to like peel the plastic wrap off. They're the reusable fucking, like, I don't know, triple XL mugs that make Europeans have heart attacks when they see it. That much soda in one place. I should have gotten one of those for America Day. Damn it, man. God damn it. I knew I was throwing. The 64, is it 64 ounces? Is it 64 ounces? That's a lot, man. I don't know how much this is. This Yeti bottle is 18 ounces. Right? 18 ounces, 530 milliliters. So, wow, dude, more than 3 of these. That's impressive. Damn it. Damn it. That's comes with the free soda refill oddity. Ah, yes. Wait, what do you mean oddity? Do you guys not have free soda refills in Europe? Is that not a thing? What the fuck? What do you do when you finish your soda? You just go buy another one? The hell? I don't know about how I feel about this. I don't know, man. We had the 44 ounces back in the 80s, but that wasn't fucking enough. I guess. Okay, I'm sorry, Atari. I'm sorry. My bad, bro. You know? And another like 40 years, we'll have the first 100+ ounce big gulp, the ultra triple whatever double triple down gulp, and then I guess that's that. You pay per drink here. That's to pay the servers a living wage and not have to dehumanize themselves to beg for tips. Chill out. Relax. Okay. All right. Okay. I get it. You guys like to pay for your sodas. Good God, man. No, in Canada we have everything's basically free refill if you want. It's not expressly stated that it's a free refill, but you just kind of do it if it's self-serve, right? That's kind of the expectation. But once you leave the establishment, you're done. There's no free refills after you leave the establishment. That's it. That's it. You're done. You walk out of those doors, you walk back in, you better buy another one, bro. Water's free, but the drinks are actually $3? Yeah, right. That's a thing too. Hunter, what kind of socialist centigradical measurement is that? 96 ounce would be truly American? Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, yeah. The 96 ouncer. Right, okay. Well, you know, we need to have the ultimate drink. Honestly, Atari, I think you should get a pool, like a small kiddie pool, and make the most American drink ever, the 1776 Cherry Coke. That would be what I would do. If I could contribute to a 4th of July cookout party, whatever, and I had to bring something, I would bring the most American soda. I would bring the 1776 ouncer. I'd get a fucking kiddie pool or however big of a vessel you need to hold that much soda, and I would make the 1776. So, not to say that I'd like to out-American anyone in this chat, but like, that was pretty American. So yeah, that'd be beautiful. Just standing by your kiddie pool with a Washington powdered wig on and a bald eagle screeching in the background. 2 F-35s flying over top, thundering over. Star Spangled Banner playing in the distance while I spoon Cherry Coke. With little sparklers and shit, man. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, and a monster truck. The fucking Gravedigger. Let's go. What's up, Leo? Good to see you, bro. I was at the fast food place in France once where the cups had little barcodes on the bottom that were scanned by the soda machine. And tried to refill it, it wouldn't work. Really? Interesting. I don't know. I guess paper drink makes sense, you know. But I do think the free refill thing is like I don't know, it's like a cultural thing or whatever, I guess. Maybe. I don't know. Because it's certainly in Canada too. Depending on where you go. Here's the thing, my line for free refills though is if it's self-serve, I'll indulge the free refill. If it's not, I won't. So if I have to go to the counter and say, excuse me, ma'am or sir, may I please have a refill of Coke Zero in my soda cup, if you please, with my paper straw. God. I won't do it. I won't ask someone for a refill. I will indulge the refill if there's if the machine is self-serve though. So I think that's probably the line for me. I don't know if that's a good line to have or not. Can't talk, must walk. Catch you after today's fitness challenge, Miles. Excellent, Samurai. I'm proud of you. All right, I am proud of you. You've gone on the adventures, Samurai. You are the one killing the adventures the most because you're the only one who's posted a picture of a castle. So get after, bro. I think I'm at 5,500 steps today, and I need to hit my 12K to meet the goal for 10K kilometers every day, which in miles is, I don't know, but this is America Day, so we're talking in miles today. So I like refills when I have to talk to people. My blood sugar is low, so Fida stops punching me. What the fuck is that? All right, well, all right, fair enough. Fair enough. Listen, I don't judge. You're a free refill asker. That's fine. That's your prerogative. All right. Can you get free refills at a movie theater? I've never actually like tried it because I find that the movie theaters, the movie theater sizes are so large. I never want for a refill. But can you get a refill at movie theaters? Is that acceptable to go up and ask for a refill? Because I can believe movie theaters wouldn't let that shit fly. They're so, you know, they're so unbelievably, you must pay a steep price for everything in this world, and your popcorn will cost you $11.50 or whatever, right? You use refills when you're making crepes. The person eating the crepes steal. That's hungry. You service dog. Oh, okay, cool. All right, that makes sense. I was like, what is a FIDA? Okay, all right, fair enough. There's a movie theater here that gives free popcorn refills. That's amazing. A free popcorn refill? Are you kidding me? Bro, there's nothing I like more than the combination at a movie theater of popcorn, nibs, and root beer. You have no idea how happy I am if I have popcorn, nibs, and root beer. Like, we can talk about this. It might be worth it just to go to movie theaters just for popcorn, nibs, and root beer. Now, I don't love nibs. They're fine, but they're not the end all be all, right? But them with popcorn and root beer, man. I don't know, one of those weirdos that mixes it in. Fucking get out of here, man. I don't want the fuck out of here, dude. I don't like that shit. Seen popcorn refills before easily, and drink refills are almost always guaranteed. At movie theaters, really? Have you ever tried it though, Ashy? Can you confirm? You put as much butter as you want on it? Yeah, I don't do the butter at the movie theater. Unfortunately, it gives me heartburn, but that shit's good, bro. What are nibs? Oh, you don't have nibs in the US? Is that wait, are nibs a Canadian snack? Are nibs actually a Canadian snack? They're like a Twizzlers branded, cherry flavored. You can either get them as like the long nibs that look like this, that are kind of like licorice, but if you don't like Twizzlers licorice, they're sweeter and better and like better, I think. So if you don't like licorice like red licorice, you might still like nibs. Oops. But they're a very common candy that you can get in movie theaters here. I assume they're in movie theaters everywhere. But this is like the small versions. You get a little bag of this with the combo. You can choose like your bag of candy and your drink and your popcorn. That's what I always go for. I always go for nibs. I don't know why, man. It's just a movie theater snack for me, right? Right? Yeah, good morning, Thorkin. What's up, dog? How you doing, man? Example of America's 4th of July in stream topics. Okay. Wait. Atari, hold on. It's pay to win today. What's your bit badge? Golden Crumb. All right. Yep. That is the minimum badge required to for me to check stream topics. I said we're doing it in America today. It is pay to win. I don't think it loaded yet. Whatever you posted, I think it's too big, or the Wi-Fi is not quite serving you. So I await eagerly the America example. Wait, hold on. Come on, Discord. There we go. All right. It's in walking challenge. Okay. Ooh, 4.4K, far behind, only for the second day. You're doing fine, Lobster. You're doing fine. Fell asleep almost 5 times today. Managed to do 8.53. Holy shit, dude! Look the fuck where Sleepy lives. Can you imagine? Solid 8.5K today. Forgot to take a nice photo. So here's my cat. Okay, dude. I did 5K yesterday for total 9K so far with the help of Wingus and Dingus. You're hilarious. Humidity's been really bad. Okay, all right. Okay, this is not America. 3.5 with some parakeets. Okay, good. Made some steps last night. Found a magic spell of mightiness in the sky. That's like fucking holy fucking hoorah. God damn, bro. I feel patriotic just seeing this. I feel like I need to go fucking eat a pack of crayons. Good God, man. The Eagle, Globe, and Anchor. How American. Press. USMC. All right. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. That's almost as good as the castle, I'll admit. I had low expectations. They were exceeded greatly. So, fireworks the drone show. Yeah, actually, though, right? I don't exactly know how to change my badge. You don't have to change your badge, Seal. I can check for you. As we said today, though, because today is a pay-to-win, capitalism-focused stream in honor of America Day as a Canadian, you know, on the 4th of July, it will increase by 1 badge tier every time someone wants me to check stream topics. So the next lowest badge required for me to check stream topics will be the Diamond Crumb. This probably sounds terrible to someone new. So, Shavadakado, that's, wait, Shavakado, dude. My brain today. Thanks for the follow, dude. I appreciate it. Welcome into the stream. Honored to have you. The answer to Wingus and Dingus. So, okay, I see. Yeah. Okay. My friend regularly got popcorn refills. We'd get them super early. Got 2 buckets of popcorn right before the movie start. They'd merge the 2 buckets, then take the empty-ish bucket for a refill. You fiend, Ashy. You fiend. I think, Ashley, what we should do for D&D one of these weeks coming up is we should all order movie theater popcorn and drinks. Except for Ulner, because I don't think they do airdrops to her. But I think you, Vixie, and Ella and I could probably do it, you know? Channel Discord that I don't have access to. Curious. Like, what? The fitness challenge? You don't have access to the fitness challenge, Steve? For some reason, or... Because you should have access to anything in the Guild Tavern. I'd assume so, right? If you like, see Guild Chat and Library. Did you not accept the rules? Okay, Thorkin's fixing it. Okay, cool. Thank you, Thorkin. I appreciate it. Huh. Weird. Well, thank you for fixing it, Thorkin. I appreciate it. So I don't have to do that shit. Thanks, bro. Ace tier mod. The Star Spangled Banner being set to an older British song instrumental still makes me laugh. Well, Cass, you know, you fought a war to keep that the way it is, so I say we. Anyway, well, I hope you guys have a great 4th of July, whatever you guys are doing. You know, be safe, go have some fun, and make some poor decisions that result in some great memories. That is my ultimate for holidays, is always making some poor decisions that will result in some good memories. But anyway, my poor decision today is I'm going to do some Fan Art Friday for Fan Art Friday. Now, Fan Art Friday is going to be something I want to bring back occasionally. I stopped doing fan art a while ago because I had a mixture of insecurities, and maybe that's all it is, actually. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I didn't want to do fan art for a very long time for a couple of reasons. One, I didn't want to build a following based on fan art, because I think that is a very powerful but very dangerous tincture to take as an artist. I think it's not the snake people. Okay, god damn it. I'm just reliving trauma. Oh god, this is what PTSD looks like. Oh god, DeviantArt was my noun. Fuck. Thanks for that, Knight. No, the reason I didn't want to do fan art is because I had seen many artists' careers collapse around them at some point in time because they built it on shaky ground, which was their fan art. And so I felt not only this desire to just not really do fan art, but this kind of like fussy kind of, you know, I'll show them desire to make it on my own. And so I never did fan art. And people thought after a while that it's not just something that I didn't do, but it was something that I didn't like doing, especially because my opinions on selling fan art at conventions are so negative. For me personally, I don't care what other people do. You guys can ruin your fucking careers. I'm kidding. Yeah, I just don't want to sell fan art. But that combined with my never doing it, people assume that I just hated doing fan art, and I don't. I actually like it. I think it's fun to do like little projects here and there that don't fucking matter to anything really, the realms of Eldara or commissions or whatever. So I was inspired based on a conversation with Quincy's Tavern, my good friend Quincy. to do some fan art of Rumi. I mused the idea and Quincy encouraged it, and that was all I needed, was just a little bit of encouragement. So it happened. But yeah, so that's what we're gonna do today. Gotta go heading to the airport for my trip to Victoria. Have a great stream and a great weekend. Brooklyn, have the best time in Victoria. Please enjoy yourself. Enjoy your 4th of July on an airplane. Thanks for chilling today, Brooklyn. Have a great trip. We'll see you when you get back, yo. Hi from the UK. Hello from Canada, Space Jesus. Damn, we got a lot of Brits here recently. Y'all are most welcome in this chat. Quincy's good people. Quincy's great, man. I've been really enjoying working with Quincy on this big project. So is Tank. Tank's also amazing people. I have had the pleasure and opportunity to meet so many dope ass like creators, I guess, since I started like spreading my wings, as it were, on various social media platforms. It's been fun. It's been actually one of the most rewarding parts of it, is meeting other people and like kind of being part of it and saying hello and what's up and what's going on to these cool people and having them, you know, be encouraging with stuff. Like GameCon was wild. Being able to like see a lot of big creators that I've watched for a while and, you know, got to actually meet in person, sort of talk to me on like an equal level or whatever about creator shit and whatnot, was very cool. Cooler than being told that my TikToks suck in person. That was not so cool, but what was cool than any of that was seeing the first people come out to the table or to the booth or whatever at GameCon to say hello, who I didn't know. That was rad. That was a weird experience to have, you know, some seemingly random nerd at the GameCon wandering around be like, hey, motherfucker, I know you. And you're like, oh shit, you're one of my homies. That was cool too. So, all right. Here, get a chance to go. Try heading to Norse Forged Gathering. Lots of nerds there. Great people. Norse Forged Gathering. I think that's the one that was recently a thing, and Tank, I believe, went to. I've heard of it. The problem is that a lot of these like sort of conventions, event, yeah, North Carolina, right? Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. A lot of these conventions and events and things like that, they're cool and fun, but it's so unbelievably and brutally expensive to go traveling like anywhere right now. And to be quite honest, flight and air travel via Canada is cooked. It's cooked. I didn't realize that you guys could like fly around the US for, now I know it's expensive. All right, I'm not saying it isn't expensive, but for a lot less than us Canadians can fly around Canada or the US. I had no idea. You get a flight just for a little bit here or there on a sale, casual, a couple $100, whatever. No, flying from Canada to the US, anywhere in the US or across Canada, it's a substantial thing. And then I'm doing with Ella. Now it's like a $4,000 to $5,000 weekend to go pretty much anywhere, basically, which sucks. So unfortunately, anytime there's like an event like that, Gen Con, or like, you know, Norse Forged or the fantasy balls or whatever it is, man, it's just not gonna happen. Like what I might do is I was encouraged to do this by M of Blackwater D&D, Dungeon Dad of Dungeon Dad fame, and a couple of other people, and like Kevin and Anastasia. They all told me that I should apply to conventions as like an influencer. And I was like, I don't influence anything. What do you mean? I'm not an influencer. Like, that's like some Tank Tolman shit. They're like, no, bro, like 20K on Instagram's enough. Like, you got it, bro. I was like, oh shit, I had no idea. So I might do that. I might take some of the cool conventions that I want to go to, maybe to meet some people and say hi to friends and whatnot, and say like, hey, just apply, you know? And maybe they just say, no, fuck you, you're a relevant weirdo, and likely that. But if not, maybe, you know, who knows? We're going art for my D&D character at the moment too. Oh hell yeah, that's what I like to see. Hope your character is going well, at least. Mine, thankfully, I don't have to do new art today for a new character, Space Jesus, because my D&D character did not get TPK'd last night, which is great. So yeah, the US can fly across country for less money than it costs to fly from Vancouver to Calgary. yeah, Steve, it's crazy. I mean, like, so the one of the biggest problems with traveling to the US, Steve, for me and Ella personally, here's the issue, okay? It is let's just say it's $600 to go to Eastern Canada. So if I want to go to Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto within my own country, it's like $600 to do that. Okay. If I want to go anywhere in the US, LA, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, New York, whatever, it's between $600 and $1,000. So that's the barrier, $600. The main issue with this, okay, that puts a wrench in it, is it also costs $600 to fly to the Hawaiian Islands. Okay? Why is that an issue? The issue is that Ella has family that lives on the Hawaiian island of Maui. That's right, in Hawaii. That let us stay with them for free. So, if I'm going to spend $600, I'm certainly not going to pay for hotels in New York when I could pay for no hotels in Maui. I'll admit, it's kind of hard for basically anywhere in the US to compete with a free stay in Maui. All I have to do is pay for airfare. So that's the problem, man. Everyone says like, bro, you should come to Gen Con. I'm like, ooh, or if I'm going to fly anywhere, I could go to Maui for free, basically. They're like, yeah, fair enough. You know, bro, you should come to like this convention in Las Vegas. Oh, I love Las Vegas. It's great, man. That's a fun town to be in, bro. But I could stay in Maui for free. So whatever it is, it has to be so good that it's not only worth me going there instead of Hawaii, not only going there and seeing Ella's family that we love dearly, it has to also be worth spending the night on hotels. And hotels are expensive now. Like post lockdown bullshit, whatever, the world core restart. I don't know if you guys have noticed, hotels got expensive after that, right? They went up and never came back down. Same with flights. So yeah. Space Jesus from YouTube swapped to Twitch. Oh shit, well, Xeno Queen, honored to have you over here then. Welcome to the Twitch side of things. Hello. I strongly agree with Hawaii over virtually any other state. Right? It's a problem, man. You know? It's a problem. So, especially when it's like, it's almost the same price. It's actually around the same price to fly on the kind of trip we would take to go almost anywhere in the US for a trip as it would be to go to Japan. And Ella and I have been to Japan like 6 or 8 times now, and we have no desire to stop going there. Like, we have zero sense of like, oh god, I'm so bored of Tokyo. Oh man, I've seen Osaka so many times. Oh god, what a, you know, I just want to go somewhere new. Nope. Japan is so big and has so much crazy tourism stuff inside of it that Ella and I will continue to go travel to Japan whenever we can. And so it's tough because hotels in Japan are dirt ass cheap and super nice. Like, you know, if you're in America or Canada, even maybe it's same in Europe. I don't know. You guys in Europe, you need to tell me how this is. You know, if you see a hotel for less than $100, you're like, you know, yeah, we're gonna roll the die, whether it's bed bugs, blood stains, or like meth house or whatever. You know, you see hotels that are too inexpensive, and you're like, ooh, I'm not gonna say there, right? But in Japan, inexpensive hotels are just small. They're business hotels. They're very clean. They're very nice. They're very safe. They're very good. They're just very small, and that's fine, right? I don't mind small and cramped. In Japan, they do small and cramped real good. Okay, so you can go to Japan and spend like literally $1,000. Sorry, $1,000 Canadian. So $700-ish US on 10 nights of hotel. So it makes up for the fact that definitely for the fact that the flights are more expensive. So again, anywhere in America is competing really hard with either Hawaii or Japan. I'm never gonna see this fucking country, man. Oh god, I'm never gonna get a chance to go. Oh no. Ah shit. Oh well. Microtel at only 100 is pretty decent stay, though. I have no idea what that is. I assume that's a chain or a brand that's pretty good. Hey, sure, you know, not bad. We got D&D players in Florida, Texas, and Arkansas who said they'd let us stay if we came over. We'd do the same for them if they want to join us for the rain. That's lovely. If you have friends that you can go stay with, you know, that'd be awesome. If you've never, I don't know if Xenoqueen, I don't know if you've ever been to America. as a Brit. I'm not sure. Those are great places to go see. You know, Florida, beautiful. Texas, crazy fun. Arkansas, charming. Never been to Arkansas, but everywhere in the U.S. has its charms. It's one of the things I love about the U.S. that I wish Canada had, was such a diverse range of the types of places you can go see. Right? Canada has like Vancouver, Lower Mainland area, prairies, and then wilderness, which is like kind of northwest Yukon, most of Ontario, that kind of thing. So like Lower Mainland, mountain, prairie, that's like the wilderness, I guess, if it's a mountain. And then it's got the French side of Canada and the Maritimes. There's not a much like that. That's not a ton of things to go see. Lots of great stuff in Canada, not a ton of stuff. It's not like the US where they have like massive amounts of these like cultural Minecraft biomes you can go see. So it's pretty cool. That's Anna. Looks good so far. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Okay. All right. I gotta hit record because I gotta end stream a little bit early today because I've got a hair appointment for myself planned. So we're gonna get into it a little bit and start drawing Rumi while I continue to wonder what the best way to celebrate the 4th of July is. You know, besides getting the 1776 ounce kiddie pool of cherry Coke. I am curious how big that is and how many like gallons or liters that is. Well, hold on. Real quick. How many liters is 1776 ounces? 52, so it would be 26 2-liter bottles. Oh yeah, that's doable. Okay, we could do that. We can plan this for next year. Okay, we'll do the 1776 big gulp next year of cherry Coke in honor of our Americans. So there you go. There you go. Microtels or small hotels, like top 70 rooms, usually comes with room service and complimentary breakfast. That's nice, actually. Okay. Fair enough, man. You got that going on somewhere, then that sounds pretty good, if you ask me. I don't know if I'd be comfortable staying somewhere that inexpensive in North America, but hey, if you say it's good. I also have what I've been told, to be fair, are pretty like wussy ass standards. I do not like staying at places that I think, obviously no one likes staying somewhere they find to be like dirty or whatever, or messy, or you know, but my standard for that is apparently a much more picky standard than most people. It's why I won't stay at Airbnbs. I just don't trust fucking Airbnbs, dog. I don't trust them. You know, you hear the 1 in 100 story of the Airbnb nightmare, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I just don't want that extra little level of anxiety of going somewhere, you know? And also, you don't know what kind of like products they use and shit like that, and it could bother me and my allergies. I don't know. It's just not worth it. Having back to the US, we went to meet another of our players in Crete back in September. So pretty, but the same price too. That's cool, man. That's a really cool place to go. Holy. Imagine being so close to Europe that you could just travel there, you know? Even if you're East Coast Canada, it'd be easier. If I had to pick the one side of NA to be on, I'd choose the West. The proximity to Asia, though, is probably more meaningful to me than the proximity to Europe, but god damn, it seems really cool. Go see a castle with samurai. Go see whatever the fuck they have and where Cow lives with Cow. Go see a boat with Jacob. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah, man. It'd be a whole trip and a half. Elysium, thank you for the sub, dude. What's up, Elysium? How's it going? What is up? Good to see ya. Hello. What's good? How you been, dude? Thanks for 46 months. That's a long ass fucking sub, dude. I'm honored. I'm honored and humbled all at the same time. Good to see you though. God damn, bro. Oh wait, this is hold up. There's jacket anatomy that I wasn't aware of. There's jacket anatomy I did not know about. We gotta fix this shit. Okay. There we go. Once usual traveling are usually about 100 to 50 a night, including pet fee. The rooms are clean and no smoking allowed, which is nice. AC, fridge, cold, and everything is packaged to ensure cleanliness. Okay, that's not bad. And are these like chain branded hotels, or are they like small independently operated type things? That's kind of quaint, kind of nice. Sounds decent, I guess. You really have to depend on where I was going, you know, if I would be willing to try one out, but I do want to see more of the US at some point in time. There are places in the US I'd really like to go. Like, I'd really love to go see Washington and go to the museums, man. I'm a museum guy. I like museums, bro. I know people find that shit boring. I want to see some old shit, man. I want to be like, damn, Vaz, you old. Holy. That's an old ass stick that somebody had at some point in time. Wow. You know, I just find it fulfilling to see all that old shit. Okay, we got 2 chains on our homegirl, Rumi. Let's not get that detail wrong, Evan, okay? I'll see some reference, I think, for this shit. Start a new job and has been hectic. I'm now a registered behavior technician. Ooh. What is being a registered behavior technician involve? I don't think I've ever heard that term before. Behavior technician. That's that sounds ominous to me. I don't know why. Like a peace officer or something. I don't know. Well, that's I mean, new job's exciting. Hope it's going well. Hope you're adjusting and enjoying it. New jobs are always fun. I wouldn't fucking know because well, I basically do the same shit every day. I guess I wouldn't be one to talk, would I? But it sounds cool, you know? It sounds exciting. I'm excited for people when they have a new job opportunity or whatever to look forward to. I always wish I got a chance to like travel for a job or whatever, you know? Move across the country. Move across the world even. Take that job in Japan. Work all those extra hours for no extra pay. Become sad and depressed like all of my coworkers that I know and everyone that I know that works in any job in Japan. Shit. Yeah, the dark side of the Japanese job market. Holy man. What's up, Alex? Demon Hunter to K-pop calling the cops? Wait, what? Why? You don't like K-pop Demon Hunters? You thought it was terrible? You hated the show? Wait, what? Why, dude? The father travels for work, and per reasons I won't get into, he has to fly with a specific airline or else he must be stuck abroad. Interesting. That's some like CIA shit right there. Yeah, what the fuck? That's cool as hell. Liquid and sleep-ins are the ones since they allow pets. Oh, okay. Doing flights by flight to Germany ended up costing me $300 more than expected because I had to wait for a refund to come from Condor because Lufthansa is in a tiff with them over taxiing fees between Frankfurt and Hanover. That's like some fucking VTuber drama right there or whatever. Yeah, what the hell, man? All right, well, that sucks. Got it. Advice taken, say, never fly to Germany. Yep. Next time somebody invites me to something in Germany, I'll be like, hey, my friend said never fly to Germany. You don't think you can pull one over on me? Fuck out of here, right? So thank you, Say. Thank you for looking out for me. I'll promise you that I will never, ever go to Germany now because of that. Thanks for keeping me safe, bro. Did like the movie? I just see it now everywhere. Good luck with the art and happy Friday. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Work in a clinic where young kiddos with autism or other learning disabilities come to get behavior therapy to help them transition to school is very rewarding, but also very emotionally, mentally, and physically exhausting. I bet. Yeah, holy. That sounds like difficult work. Difficult work. Yeah, good God. I can't imagine how exhausting that'd be. Well, that's awesome. That's really meaningful. That's like modern day superhero shit, right? Which is cool, so fucking get after it, I guess. Hold on, I need a reference for Rumi's earring. What's going on with this earring? What is going on with this earring? Damn it. Why they have no references, bruh? Come on, man. Where's my zoomed in version, dude? The hell? I'm just trying to draw some stupid shit, bro. Oh, wait. Does this work? It's a little low res. Does this work? It's low res. Does this work? Wait. You might have it. Nope. Ooh, wait, we got it. Easy clap, bro. Easy. Fucking killed it. Ah. That's a weird ass fucking earring, man. I like it. I like the weird shit. Makes the design process more interesting. You have the worst luck, really? Was that why you got screwed out of your flight? Damn, bro. You don't have much choice when traveling in Europe. Munich and Frankfurt are big connecting airports for refueling. Oh, really? Fair enough, I guess. That would be mightily annoying, I suppose, to have to deal with if you're forced to go through them. Wait, this is so weird. We're not going to capture it exactly. We're going to do a good enough job where close enough is good enough in this case. Okay. Yeah, alright. Good enough. Yeah. Okay, it's fine. Good enough. It's just a sketch. I might try and do this in color, though, because I need to start trying these pieces, these portraits in color, because I think that people wanted me to offer that on Coffee for some of the pieces, and I currently don't, because I don't know how long it's going to take me to do these in color. So I have no idea what to charge for the adjustment rate. If I don't know what to charge for something, I don't offer it, because I don't want to be stuck again saying like, oh yeah, sure, I could do that, and then realizing that it's going to take me an extra whatever, however many hours to figure out. That's always the worst feeling in the world, when you're like beholden to do something that now you're like kind of stuck just putting a lot of hours into something that's not like really not gonna be worth your time. That's not the place you want to be. $2 per minute. That's a lot, man. Got a Discord call from fam. All right, dude. Have fun. Good luck. Catch you later. GG. And thanks for the raid, say. I appreciate it. Maybe I should have done more of a style closer to K-pop Demon Hunters. I've been thinking about, like, stylistically the issues with the kind of work that I do quite a bit recently. I think there's a lot of, like, really interesting arguments to be made for, you know, trying to stylistically match whatever it is that you're doing, you know, fan art for or whatever. But there's also kind of the charm of doing, like, something closer to your own style that maybe makes it more interesting for people to look at, to see, like, a completely different style of piece that is maybe a little different from what the normal additions of fan art to various things on the internet would be. Like, dude, I've been told many times that I should enter the Critical Role fan art scene. And I don't know, man. I feel like some art, like, enjoyers are very much not stuck, but they like what they like, man. They don't want anything else. It's one of the reasons why I don't do a lot of VTuber stuff anymore. Why I, like, did my friends basically, and then I kind of, like, chilled, because a lot of people didn't. And this has nothing to do with Miwa or many people that I, like, recently did art for, but, like, things that their viewers or that other people have said about it, that the anime fans really only want anime, you know? They don't kind of want to see anything that diverges from the expectation that they have of the kind of work they want to see. And, like, you know, okay, sure, I get it. Like you know what you want. You don't want anything that kind of falls away from that. But then does it really make doing fan art of something I have to change my entire sort of, like, approach to it and, like, think really hard about it? I don't know. Kind of makes it not worth it in my opinion. But there's a couple people I want to do fan art for still. Like, I want to do something for Stim. I want to do something for Vixie. Maybe I'll do that and then retire from doing the VTubers for a while or something. I don't know. Bad when it comes to commissions, chronic undercharger. Ooh, that is a problem. That's a terrible problem. That is a. Well, I mean, if you're a hobbyist, that's fine. Like, if you're just sort of, like, doing this for fun or whatever, that's totally fine. But if you're doing it professionally, that's a big issue. That's a big problem. We were talking about this yesterday because I'm gonna be mentoring a couple of young artists this summer, some little peepo artists, and I got to figure out how to talk to them properly about commission prices and how to, like, actually take themselves seriously as a business instead of, like, LARPing as an artist and doing it as a hobby. You know, that's, like, a big issue with maybe the greater art scene. I don't know right now. I don't know, the whole, like, commissioned artists thing, like, it's weird to sort of be in there because it's kind of like, on one end you're in that scene with them, but on the other, like, I come from a different world basically of the more, like, kind of NDA contract work side of things. So I see a lot of artists in the kind of the self-taught commission side of things doing a lot of stuff where I'm like, what the fuck? Who taught you that? Where did you learn that habit? What the fuck? Bro, do you want to eat? Like, oh my god. But we talked about it a bit yesterday, and I think I got some good ideas, so I appreciate you guys entertaining my silly ramblings yesterday while I contemplated the mortality of what it is to be me, an artist in general, all dramatically and shit. I already like your version more. Well, Steel, thank you. You know what? I appreciate it. Fucking, that's that. Yep. Okay. I just needed a little bit of encouragement, Steel. It's amazing how, just realizing now how small or how little of encouragement I actually just needed right now to feel good about this. I'm supercharged. Thanks, bro. Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks, homie. Thanks for looking out. I do for extra money in between jobs, but a few my regulars are used to low prices, so I feel shitty about upping them. Yeah. You are going to lose clients if you increase your prices. But the way I sort of see it in a way, which is not like, this is one of the, and I'm obviously not saying this about, like, you know, you are activating a conversation, reactivating a conversation. I'm not saying this about you, but yesterday we were talking about this, and I always feel like that protest comes up with a lot of the artists that I talk to. And one of the ways that I sort of get around that with a lot of artists is I ask them if they prioritize those clients over their family. Because that's like a tough thing to do, man. If you undercharge for your time, you're hurting the people who count on you in the name of keeping people who don't count on you happy. And I learned that the hard way, which is why it's an important lesson, I think, that I talk about sometimes. And got just destroyed on commissions for like a good 6 months because I didn't want to lose or piss off the existing clients. But one of the best things that happened to me was when I did increase my prices, and most of my clients were like, thank God. You're like, wait, you're not mad? They're like, no, God, no. And there's a couple that I lost, but like, that's gonna happen, you know? That's absolutely gonna happen no matter what. So watched 1776 the musical last night before I went to bed to get inspired, Anna, for 4th of July. So you can go celebrate properly. Get your fireworks out and everything. Let's go, dude. Let's go, man. Dude, I fucking love the braid. Like, people think that it's all about the K-pop Demon Hunters for me, but it was all about the braid that I wanted to draw Rumi for. Eagle-eyed EBA viewers will know I have a thing for drawing cool-ass braids. Right? So, can't screw that up. We need to get the braid anatomy down really solidly today. Hopefully get it looking good, man. I might also leave this with a little bit less hatching than I normally do, because I think I do want to try and paint it in. I think I might. There's a small chance that I might. I'm not promising shit, obviously. All right, listen, I don't want to commit to anything, even though I'm actually absolutely committing to stuff right now. But there may be a non-zero chance that I will endeavor to actually paint this out. And it might not work. It might not look good. That's fine. I might have to reevaluate my life choices as an artist entirely. Okay, that's a bit dramatic, but you get the point. I may just use the line work for it, but I am gonna, I think, try it and see what happens. That old sort of thing about, like, you know, you should always challenge yourself with every piece of art. I always say that's bullshit for, like, client work, but absolutely true for, like, personal work. Dude, 2 different types of chains? Oh my god, what is this? Actually, I have a chain brush for this. I have a chain brush just for this purpose, for measuring out real chains. Look at that. Look how easy that was to measure out. Now, as a guide for my line work, I'm already living it up, man. Easy clap. I don't know what this pendant is. Looks like it's just a circle with, like, kind of a 6-pointed mandala on it, I think. Good. You know how I love to draw that kind of shit? It's got a ring, and then another ring, and then the ring is connected to the circular pendant. This is like the design study shit that I love about this kind of work. The stuff where you're kind of learning about how another character designer thought about the process of, you know, creating whatever outfit it is. That based on the Netflix series? Yes, it is, Gem. Absolutely. Today I'm revitalizing an ancient tradition, an ancient Friday tradition in my stream. called Fan Art Friday. Yep. Where I just chill out, do some fun work for Friday for the end of the week. Take a break from all my projects and whatever else I'm doing. And so that is what we're doing today. I've already had 3 people encouraging and 2 people complaining about it. So, excellent. Gets the people talking. Not always in the best way, but hey. At least they're thinking about it. All right. I think this is a decent base. I think it's okay. It'd be fun to do like a portrait, like a trio portrait of them, like all 3. Just doing their thing. We'll see if this one gets really well received, and if it is well received, then so be it. So be it. All right, Rumi. Let's figure out what the fuck's going on with this pendant. You know what? You know what? I'll leave that for the fin. Probably don't need to sketch this part out. I need to like stop doing as in-depth and involved undersketches for my own personal work. Client work, it's fine to do. Obviously, it's good to do. But for my personal work, I can probably do less base sketching, you know? Should I pop in a note? Watching TF2 vids as well? Fair enough, Jam. I'm honored to have you here, though. We're going to the Denver Fan Expo tomorrow. I expect to see several cosplayers from this movie. This soon? Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe, I guess a lot of cosplayers need to, like, a lot of their, like, sort of success or brand is, like, based on proximity to hype and releases and things like that. Which is not, like, a judgment or whatever. It's just, like, the nature of it, of the business, I suppose. For those trying to be pro or whatever. And then you also just get like the passion crowd that are just like super eager. I suppose you would see a lot of that crossover being there right away. What else are we missing? I'm not going far enough down that I can show any of the patterning on the jacket or anything. Maybe a spike or something? No. No, I don't think so. I think we're just going to have to leave it here. Unless I want to do a more substantial piece, which I absolutely don't, because I definitely don't have time for that. So, this is supposed to be fun, chill, whatever, relaxed, not anything stressful. I always misspell my delete sketch layer. And I never change it because it's going to get deleted anyway, right? Gonna get Brendan Fraser to sign my Mummy poster. Very excited. That's cool. That's vintage shit right there. Man, back when movies were fun. Remember that shit? Remember when movies would come out that are actually fun? Are you excited about it? I think we need to increase the amount of ear she has going on here real quick. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of expos and fucking conventions and stuff this year. I really want to be hyped up for it, you know? I really want to, like, try and, like, recapture that magic for those and the excitement and the whatever. Because it seems like it's kind of it's like a big thing. Not that it, like, wasn't always a big thing, but it's like resurging a little bit. People are like kind of done with expos and Comic-Cons and stuff like that for a little while. And yet, here we are again, you know? We've been talking about them a lot this year. From my own experience, going to like Edmonton and Calgary and whatnot for you know, work-related stuff. People have been pretty hyped. I wonder what changed. Maybe it's just like post-lockdown stuff. People are like actually doing stuff again, you know? Dragon Time? Maybe later, actually, Nick. I don't know. We'll see. Well, casting moves unnecessarily attractive. You don't get castings like that anymore, right? Yeah, actually, though. Was the girl who played Evie in anything else after that? Or was she kind of the mummy and that was it? Not without mandatory Pedro Pascal, at least. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Right, of course. Then again, I didn't really watch The Last of Us. Not my jam, so I only really know the man from The Mandalorian. I think he was in Game of Thrones too, but I wasn't much of a Game of Thrones enjoyer. Did not really care for it. I think he was. 15 crepes down, bro. Why are you making so many crepes, though? I thought you were just making crepes for yourself. I didn't think you were just, like powering them out. The hell are you making so many crepes for? The party or something? He's in also in Constantine, if you like movies. Oh, really? Okay. I mean, fair enough. The Mummy did have an unreasonably and unnecessarily attractive cast. That is totally fair. I can buy into that one. Pedro had a spectacular death in Game of Thrones, really? Well, it wasn't memorable enough for me, apparently. Shit. Let me get a couple references for you. Get pendant right? I think I got it. I appreciate it. Yeah. In fact, K-pop is Korean pop. Wait, what? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yep. Making a rolled crepe cake for my birthday cake. Needs a lot of crepes. Okay. All right. Fair enough. You're making a whole ass cake for it. That's impressive, though. That's impressive, Steel. The dedication. The dedication is admirable. You layer them end to end, put frosting on them, and roll them, and just keep slathering and rolling until done. Okay. All right. Seems legit. Yep. What's up, Guapo? What's going on, man? Guapo, what are you doing today to celebrate the 4th of July? Yeah, what's going on, man? 15 crepes, pancakes seems like a very reasonable amount to eat as a dinner, in my honest opinion. Really? That's damn, okay. Yeah, I'll go hard over there, apparently. Okay, man. Sure. Fuck yeah. I also gotta be really careful today. I gotta do my stretches like every literally 20 or 30 minutes. Because I've been having some problems with the old forearm. And I got way too much work to do to not be able to stop for a couple of days and give it a rest, so. I do with friends and family, and by that I mean stream, of course. Oh yeah, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, got it. Well, I hope you have a great 4th of July evening for you then. British 4th July, I think, is a lot of drinking and lots of tea and trying to find a TV channel that isn't showing Independence Day. Oh wow, that's tough. If you're watching American TV, yeah, man, that's gonna be a challenge. What a great tradition, though, watching that movie. Well, come on, you know? As a Canadian, I feel excited about it. I think I might need to work slower and hold my pen differently for the rest of the day. We're going to try something, okay? We're going to experiment. We're going to see if I can do this the artist's way and hold my pen properly like a paintbrush. So I'm going to have to be a lot more gentle. I did some stretches for it and some exercises at the gym that should help, but it did not give me as much relief from the pain as I wanted it to. What's up, Taku? Hello. What's going on? How you doing? All right. Oh, God. So crazy. Maybe I was holding my pencil too tight earlier. See if it calms down. New kid on the block, but in my opinion, anyone who doesn't accept price increase for commission doesn't value your time. I like the interpretation of a character as fan art. If I wanted exact, I would not commission a forgery, and now I've forgotten my third point, so we'll circle back on whatever. Fair enough. Fair enough, dude. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, I mean, the whole like price thing and treating your art as an actual business thing is a very difficult topic to raise with artists. It's a very difficult topic because inherently a lot of them don't value the financial side of it, or otherwise they're scared, you know? And it's one of those things that like you can't let fear motivate your decision making. And if you just don't value it, then like, okay, man, it's crazy. But it's tough. It's a tough thing to figure out with artists, because a lot of them are doing their best to get by, and they're just terrified that if they're terrified they'll lose what they have, you know? They're terrified that they'll lose the support that they've sort of gained from their clients. And I like, as I increased my prices and like grew as an artist, Steve, I definitely lost clients, and I will continue to lose clients because that's just the nature of it, and it sucks. And you can thank someone for being there and supporting your project, but if you change what you're doing and they don't support because they don't value it, or they can't, or you've exceeded their threshold or whatever, that's kind of just part of it, you know? You know, and like this happens a lot with artists that work for like creators, like streamers and stuff like that. They'll guilt them. They'll be like, oh my god, but I can't afford your price increase, and who else is going to do my emotes or my starting soon banner or my VTuber outfits or whatever it is? And they'll put that on the artist. It's like, well, you cannot take responsibility for that as an artist for somebody else's ability to get the stuff you're doing. You could do if you wanted to, you could do like art for one person because you want to work for them. I've done this. Art, like keep the art in budget for somebody because you really want to like work for them and like do the thing for them, but then also at the same time then it means you have to charge more to other people to make up for it. You used to do that in graphic design sort of side of things too, where there'd be certain like graphic design clients that I want to work with, like nonprofits or whatever, that couldn't afford my rates. So I like always saw it as I was charging the companies and corporates and whatever the higher rate so that I could charge the rate I wanted to the other, you know, clients and shit. It's tough, man. I believe when you scrolling through channels and every other one is Will Smith dragging a parachute corpse, it gets annoying. Yeah, that's fair. I'm doing good here to body double you in art. Taco, I'm honored. I'm honored. For the creep stack in stream topics? Okay, sick. Okay. Hold up. We gotta check this out in a bit. Had a big issue with pricing for a long while. And I get it, it's scary. But I think that it's one of those things also that like if you aren't treating your art like a business, then it's much harder to figure out how to do it. You know, because you don't have the safety and security of growth. And so you don't necessarily have the the confidence. There's a couple ways around that, though. A lot of artists can also develop more than one project, and that'll save you. There's a lot of things you can do to ward against it. Incremental, small increases, see if the market accepts it. If not, get better. What's up, Azalea? Losing clients part of the process? Absolutely. It's not always price either. Taste change, you find someone who doesn't work close to what you want, new purchasing manager, etc. Price is only part of the equation. Right, I mean, there's lots of things that that would impact that, I guess, for me personally and for other artists that I've known. Yeah, like there are also, like, this is going to sound kind of maybe toxic a little bit, but there are easier and more difficult to work with clients, and people that are more difficult to work with, you just stop working with them, and they're like, hey, can I get another commission? And you're like, ooh, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm all booked up. Because you just know that working with them is going to be more stressful than somebody else, and you have the opportunity to work with somebody else, so you work with somebody else. You get to be more picky the further up you go. It's kind of like, you think about tattoo artists, right? A lot of the most prestigious ones, you don't tell them what you want. They just like, you give them a vibe and then they just do it. So that you're getting like their best work and not saying like, hey, here's this image I want you to make this exact reference to or whatever. And they're like, ugh, God. You know? There's lots of reasons why things change. One thing a lot of people forget, put the full and proper rate on the invoice and then grant a discount for X reasons. Then they know they should be paying when the real rate appears. Yeah, you can also do that for, so it depends on what you're doing. Most artists can't do this because they don't have necessarily the right kind of clients or the right kind of like accountant. But if you like, so apply this to your own art how you will, but as a graphic designer, if you're working for, like, when I was doing this shit, when you're working for a client that's like a non-profit or something that fits into a certain category of client, if they could only afford, let's just say, a $5,000 budget for something that you charge $10,000 for, you charge them $10,000, like a $5,000 invoice, and then you have the other $5,000 count as a charitable contribution. You can do that kind of shit. I don't know, like, if it still works, but back when I was doing graphic design stuff, that definitely flew. Yeah, I had no idea. So, yeah, you like that tracks on a number of other ways. Hope it's okay to say, if not, you can delete the message. But I finally opened my comms the first time in years. Generally, kind of nervous. That's awesome, Taku. Taku, that's not self promo. It's okay. Like the line would be, like people who are like floating in the Discord with just like comms open in their name. That's cringe. People who are like aren't like friends of mine that aren't established artists in the community. They're like, haha, I'm taking comms now, you know, what's up? That's all fucking cringe. Your message is absolutely cool and I'm excited for you, and that's fucking rad. What made you, I guess, not take commissions for so long though? That's a long ass time to not take any work. That's awesome that you're open now, but were you just really busy with stuff or what? One client back in the day, consulting art, that I added a rewrite clause into the contract after the first one. They laughed and signed it. I was paid for 3 contracts before I got paid for the first one and lost serious money out of it from rewrites. Oh, okay, yeah. That's a little annoying. That sucks, bro. Yeah, I mean, the whole process is difficult, but I don't know why artists who go freelance never take the time to learn how to fucking like run a small business. Like, I don't know, man. It's always so bizarre to me. It's like you don't want to work in a corporate environment, so you don't want to work in a big studio. You want to be out on your own, doing your own thing, sitting in your fucking basement in your underwear, drawing art for people on DeviantArt. Okay, but you don't want to like do the necessary learning and how to actually like run your fucking art career. Like, what is this shit? It's always just so baffling to me. But like, there's kind of like, there's a bit of a toxic take that I don't know how to make it sound not toxic, so I'll continue to avoid saying it out loud until I find a non-toxic way to communicate it that people won't take out of like misconstrue or whatever.
Me not self-promoting message by Guapo.
Yes.
Calms open DM me now.
Really?
Here is a commission I made for a client.
Oh,
who loved
shit.
it and said, wow, thank you for making this.
No way, dude.
It's so great. I
Wow.
wouldn't want any other artist. Glad I knew to
Oh
DM
my
you for
God.
this easy commission.
Mapache
I hope
Guapo,
others know
guys.
to DM you for art commissions quick and easy.
Wow. Could you believe it? Holy, I should get a commission from Mapache Guapo. Then maybe I won't get disappeared in the night by a fucking Escalade with men in black suits and sunglasses. Great. That's my protection there. They started Bisquap every 3 days. Okay, yeah. Hey, Life Finds. First D&D session of a D&D campaign was last night. It was fire. Good to hear that, Carter. Good to hear that. Hope everyone had fun. Hope you enjoyed yourself. I see light at the end of the tunnel, and I think only have 2 more crepes to go. Okay, you're almost there. You're almost there, Steel. You're almost there, and I'm proud of you. You're putting in the work on your own birthday cake. Let's go. Let's go, man. Happy 4th? Yeah, happy 4th, bro. Enjoy it. I don't know what you Americans do on the 4th of July, but I hope you have a good one. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but apparently I still didn't get the correct vibe for it. Okay. Alright, Rumi. This isn't going to be exact, her earring, but that's okay. I can't be too butthurt about it. Like, careful line work that I have to, like, hold my pen a little bit harder is the stuff that's roasting my arm right now, so... Yeah, it'll be a little more gentle today. Take our time, alright? Maybe risk being a little messy, as it were. For our girl Rumi. What's your favorite type of dragon in 5e? I don't know, Lifefinds. I don't really use the monster manual. I haven't, to be honest, I haven't really used the monster manual in... Ooh, maybe since like I was playing in 3.5 or maybe early 4th ed. My like big thing and my one of my big passions in D&D is like basically brewing all my own stuff. That's why like I do this as my fucking career, is just like sharing that and doing it for people. So to be honest, I'm like really out of the loop on a lot of stuff that's like D&D content, you know, like Wiz of the Coast made D&D stuff. So I don't know if I'd have really a strong opinion on it, to be honest. I don't know about much of the lore. I don't know much about the breath attacks and stuff. I'll just write all that like myself if I'm gonna make a dragon for any reason. So I don't know. What's like the go-to? What is everyone's favorite that they all like? Still red dragons or platinum fucking moist copper dragons? I don't know. I don't know how this shit works, bro. Finally, rain's been 30 degrees all week. Well, that's pretty good. Finally praying for what rain in the UK. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's been cold here too, unfortunately. Imagine it being July and I have to wear a jacket to the gym in the morning. Ugh. Ugh, it's the most disappointing feeling in the world. I know there's a lot of disappointing feelings in the world, alright? Like showing up to D&D and yapping for 3 to 5 hours instead. I'm kidding. Come on, man. Kidding. Relax, bro. Cool, because I've been working on an original TTRPG. Oh shit, that's an ambitious project right there. That's a really big ambitious project. First new character had a pet brass dragon.
Imagine streaming for an entire hour and a half and not rating the illustrious Sis in Uru's Republic immediately.
Ooh. All right, what's the meta for the day? Wait, remember, guys? So it is in honor of 4th of July, in honor of Capitalism Day. This stream is capitalist pay to win. So I had said that every time I have to check stream topics or otherwise, it had to require the next highest bit badge. So the last one was gold, which means that Aduria has the diamond, so we can check it. Perfect. Okay, great. The Wilson bird, that's a, what the fuck? That's a Pokemon. Oh my god. Look at that dome, dude. Wait, this is real? Where the fuck is this bird from? Oh my god, its stupid ass tail? Bro, if this is real, 10 out of 10.
The theme for this week was Dance
10 out of 10.
Birds, for the record.
What a great meta. You finished with a bang, bro. That's an amazing bird. Holy shit. Thanks for the 200 bits, man. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. That does mean that the next bit badge required to get me to check anything is now the Ruby Crumb. Ooh, the Ruby Crumb. Oh, no, wait. Steel asked me to check stream topics for the crepe, which means that Aduria would have had to have the Ruby Crumb, which Aduria does. So the next one is the Emerald Crumb, actually. The Emerald Crumb, yes. Yes, okay. All right. Well, good luck. There are a few Emerald Crumb holders. May they request attention with dignity and grace and poise on this most auspicious of July 4ths. Okay, I'm done. All right. The meme's over. I'm done. I swear. Ran to a few snags here and there. I imagine more than a few snags running your own TTRPG. That's a lot, dude.
Just to
seriously.
Get started.
Yes.
No particular reason other than it's Friday.
Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. Seriously, thank you for the 100 bits. Thank you, dude. I'm honored. Hey, look, the bits go a long way in supporting me. All right? For no reason at all. Oops. There we go. The no reason at all bits go a very long way in helping me out and making sure I can keep doing the things I'm doing. So thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Thank you, Aduria. Thank you, Steve, man. You guys are too kind. All right. All right. I'm enjoying my time drawing Rumi, okay? You leave me alone. I definitely shouldn't have done that heavy hatching if I was going to color this in. Fuck. You know, whatever. We can fix it later if I want to. You know, it's whatever. It's no biggie. I ain't worried about it. I'm worried about it. Oh, God. No. Discipline, Evan. Discipline. We have to get this piece done for the good people of Twitter. If I let them down, it's over for me, man. Who am I going to impress at that point? Blue Sky? Oh, God. Oh, no. Both the people in Blue Sky are very nice, though, I will say. They're both very, very nice. So it's fine. Free texture. Yeah. Okay, I like that. Yeah. Okay, sick. Yeah, Taco, I gotta start doing more stuff in color, but it doesn't really fit my sort of like my sketching. I either need to like commit to getting back to painting exclusively for characters, or really just try and kind of develop some sort of like kind of like I don't know, Akihiro Yoshida Sonech, whatever style, hatching kind of sketch work, something, color, I don't know. It doesn't really work though, hey? Not all that pleased with a lot of the stuff that I do in color that has like sketch and line work around it. It just doesn't hit for me right, you know? I gotta figure something out. I gotta become a good artist one day. Just extra contrast so you don't have to do it later. Easy. Oh, okay. I like that too, actually. Yeah, thanks for the reframe, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah. Chocolate crepes, by the way, with coffee. Oh, damn. You're going all out then. And just what, vanilla frosting? What do I do to kick off paintings? What do you do to kick off paintings? Tell me. Tell me your secrets. Because I haven't done portraiture painting in a long time. So I haven't done like blocking in a while. You know, it's been a little bit of a challenge. The final crepe? Oh man, this is the one. This is the one that you can't screw up, Steel. This is the one everyone's gonna remember because it's the first on top. Got the 2 prints into frames and on the wall temporarily homes until, or as I keep rearranging, but at least they're up. Oh shit, really, dude? Well, hell yeah. I'm excited. That's fucking lit. Which 2 did you get, by the way? I've sent out multiple orders of 2 prints recently, so... That's awesome, dude. Yo, shit. Thanks for continuing your sub, Steve. I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you, Senix, for the 100 bits. How you doing, bro? What's up, Senix?
Well, hello there.
Hello.
Drawing hot women again, I see.
I am.
Who is it this time?
It is Rumi. A demon hunter. That's right. A stern demon hunter. A leader of her band of demon hunters as they take on the most foul aberrations from the other side of the beyond. Yeah. Hopefully, the good people enjoy this character piece, but we shall see. Thank you, Senix, for the 100 bits. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Not very sweet cream cheese frosting and Russian buttercream for the outside. That sounds lovely. Start with either clean sketch or loose line art and put flat colors and gradients on it. Duplicate the color layer, darken and saturate to clip onto the new lines, and I merge everything to paint on top of it. That's a process right there. I gotta learn to do that kind of shit because I am entirely a block, like a shape blocker. I'll like one layer it like I'm painting with oils, you know, and it's just so degenerate. It's just so not like. I've lost the skill almost entirely. I feel like, Taku, and I'm terrified to try and do it on stream and make a fool of myself while I'm trying to like meme at the same time. While I rebuild that skill, maybe I should try something like that that's more like process uniform that I can like use like line work for first, because I can kind of like, if I like processize it, what's the word for that? Turn it into a process. If I processize it, maybe it'd be a bit easier to do it on stream when I'm like distracted and like talking shit and whatnot or whatever. So, yo, thanks to the follow, Z-God, and thank you for the prime. Holy shit, dude! Wait, that has to be the fastest follow to prime I've ever seen in this chat. Oh my god, I'm honored. Thank you very much for the sub. Thank you for considering me your prime option this month. Thank you, Z-God. I appreciate that. That's incredibly generous of you. Holy shit. Hope you enjoy your stay at the Dragon's Claim. Hope you enjoy your emotes and everything. I know you had many places and many streams you could use your Prime on Twitch, and I'm honored that you chose mine. That really does mean a lot, so thank you. Love your art? Oh man, thank you, dude. I appreciate that. Listen, the kind words go a long way. My little fragile artist ego needs to hear that once in a while, so thank you very much, dude. I seriously appreciate that. That wasn't clear. I can show you a comparison of how painting started and how it's going. I mean, I've seen your process on stream a little bit. I don't know. Do you ever record full process videos, like start to finish things? I don't think I've ever seen that from you. And I don't think I've explored your Instagram Reels, if they are a thing. Just more your flat page Instagram and the base landing, you know? Just realized that I hadn't extended the gift sub. Since I keep watching this, or at least listening and lurking while working, I should keep supporting. Well, it means the world, Steve. Thank you. Like, I really mean it. It's incredibly generous of you. The support goes a long way, and I get more support than I deserve for like a streamer of my size. I shouldn't be able to do this like full time like I do, and it's because of people like you that decide to, you know, to throw some my way and say, hey man, here's a sub, bro. So, thank you. Here's a comparison. Shit, is it on your Insta? Because my links get purged automatically, so I not even like, it's a Twitch thing, not even a Stream Elements thing. So I just saw stars there. Maybe I should see if I can like make that Stream Elements and then not Twitch, so that I can, or whatever. Appeal for peel and Wait. Have to peel and mandolin slice 8 potatoes, make cheese sauce, and caramelize some onions. Damn, you're doing a whole feast today, Steel. I'm impressed, bro. I'll leave it to Discord? Oh, shit. I'd appreciate that. Thank you, Taku. On subject of dragons, I found out that brass dragons make for excellent public speakers. They could probably be lawyers with how much they like to talk. Wait, is that actually... Is that D&D lore? No way. No fucking way. Is that actually? How do you usually foreshorten drawings? How do I usually foreshorten drawings? Well, I guess there's two kind of ways to foreshorten a drawing. One, you draw it foreshortened, you know. and the other... Oops. Wait, where's our fucking exaggeration box? There you go. One, you try and draw whatever complex shape it is, you know, in perspective. Or if you're doing something where you have like a physical, let's say like pattern or whatever, that you just want to like do a very quick foreshortening for, you could just do that with the transform tool. Obviously this distorts it and you shouldn't do this for finished line work unless it's like a little bit. See how like the line here is like blurry and the line here is like really crisp. So it depends on if you're like talking about like being like real art or if you're just like doing some like Photoshop magic voodoo shit. You can do it either way like that. But you're talking about just like how do you think about it? It's just practice. You just have to practice your perspective enough and then you just kind of figure it out, bro. And then you just don't have to worry about it anymore. Hence why you use stream topics in Discord, right? Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, the links, the bot issue became too much of an issue. Does Rumi have a double lid or kind of? It's so hard to try and extrapolate a very stylized like anime fucking bullshit into like slightly less stylized, but I think I see an indication of a separation there, so we're gonna go with it. Who cares, man? We'll worry about it later. It is D&D lore that they're public speakers, really? That's interesting. There's so much about like modern D&D lore that I'm just like not acquainted with. I think like I really stopped paying attention to like WotC's kind of like lore editions, like probably like somewhere around 4th ed. When I realized that that was kind of the charm of D&D for me, was like sort of building the world, as it were. You know? That was like part of it, I guess, for me. Maybe it's not a good part to have, but it's the part I latched onto. I'll have to erase this if we're doing this in color, but I'm just going to go through the normal process that I normally do for most pieces, and then if I decide to do some nonsense color bullshit later, I have the room for it, but I'm not going to overthink the process right now. That's not what I want to do, so why not, man? I actually really like this design for Rumi. The hair and everything else. I hope it turns out as a good, like, I don't know, departure from the normal EBA posting. Because I don't know how my video, like, short form based followers are going to receive it. Because they all are kind of big D&D, you know, enjoyers, so. Oh, thanks to follows, Queen. I appreciate it. Gotta head out. It was very fun. Hope to catch you next stream. Absolutely. Please have a lovely evening, whatever y'all are doing over there. And I will catch you next time, my friend. Take care of yourself. But yeah, I don't know how they'll receive it, because I think that it's one of those like risky content posts, you know? Maybe I just don't make it into a video. Or you know what I'll do? I will post this as a trial reel. That's what I'll do, because that's literally the point of trial reels, is to do that. Oh shit. That is awesome. I forgot about that. I forgot I have access to that. I don't remember how, like, what size you have to be to get access to trial reels, but it's bigger than I thought. It was like 5,000 or something. I wish I had had that shit when I first started. But I can post as a trial, see if people like it. If they do, great. If they don't, then I won't, like, post it as a proper reel. Literally that easy. What tropes have you subverted in either your drawings or campaigns? I mean, tropes are an interesting, that's an interesting question, because tropes, I think, are a deep topic that I have a hard time discussing on stream, because I'm not smart enough to fully understand the topic, and basically no one who offers me any opinions on it is either. And so we just kind of wonder about stuff a lot. But my whole sort of theory on fantasy is that I think that modern fantasy is really not in a good place. It's really boring. It's really kind of lame in a lot of ways, because it's too self-referential. It's too, like, I use the word like incestuous. It's just like, it's just kind of like, I don't know, very uninteresting to me in a lot of ways. So the problem with tropes are obviously just that like you want to try and like maybe like subvert or avoid tropes, because then your stuff becomes predictable, self-referential, kind of lame, uninteresting overall. But with that, the problem with that also is that there are many sort of archetypes, which are another sort of like maybe way of referring to tropes. There are many archetypes in storytelling, or a number of sort of themes that you might explore that are useful. And so a lot of fantasy that just tries to discard those for the sake of originality, I think it's the best sort of like term that I can kind of come up with is they are throwing the baby out with the bathwater, right? And so trying to be different for the sake of different is something that you learn early as a graphic designer is like not a good thing, right? And that experimentation without conscious observation of the pre-existing patterns that make things what they are is, yeah, it's a really big mistake. And we saw this in graphic design in like the mid 20th century and like maybe early as well, of all this really garbage design. And a lot of the fine art sort of field suffers from this too. A lot of it suffers from it too. The kind of the postmodern, like modern art style movements and stuff like that. Really like weird, lame stuff that people are kind of like really put off by. And all the artists are just saying they're trying to be original. And so the issue is always trying to figure out how to reskin a fantasy idea, how to redesign, redo a fantasy idea, whether it's writing, narrative, or art, without throwing out and discarding things that are sacred and useful. Because the nuance comes in the fact that we can't describe why certain like story beats or certain concepts in storytelling matter to us, but we can sure as shit tell when it doesn't, like when it's not hitting right. And people are very good at understanding that. And so it's kind of a big challenge, I think, to people don't know what they want. And they'll say like, oh, I want my, you know, my swords and sorcery to be different. And I want everything to be weird. And I want, you know, machines, and I want fresh cut grass, and I want, you know, automatons, and I want laser beams, and I want sharks with kittens that explode. And they'll have this whole laundry list of things that they think they want. That's like they're adding to try and be original and try and be interesting. But at the end of the day, everyone gravitates back to Lord of the Rings, and we don't know why. And we don't understand why. Nothing hits the same way that the really traditional classic fantasy does. And the more classical it is, the more universal appeal it has. And also, weirdly, I don't think just universal appeal within the genre as well. So it's very difficult to try and figure out how to reskin things, because you have to really go back to, I think, the original cultural origin, the root of an idea, to figure out how it started and why this was important to people 500, 600, 1200, 3000 years ago. And then try and reference that today in our stories in a different way by removing the skin that can be like the outer skin of it, reskin that part of it without removing the core of what makes that thing a good idea. And that's extremely difficult. So like if you think about dragons, for instance, that's the example I always go to. Dragons as an apex predator and as a thing that would inherently be terrifying to humans when you think about like sort of our natural fear, whatever response to what layer am I on? Oh my God, I'm on the, okay, shit. all my references later. That's fine. Anyway, yeah, like dragons are kind of perfect as they are. Lizards, spines, spikes, claws, fangs, fire, wings. These are all like good for a reason. But, you know, elves, for instance, is there a way to sort of make an otherworldly, ethereal, mystical being without just pointing its ears? You know? And so why should we have elves referenced the exact same way? But then again, maybe they're perfect. Who knows? They seem to be an idea that's surviving the test of time. So I don't know. I can't really say that there's anything specifically that I've subverted or avoided or whatever or changed that I really kind of am consciously like proud of. It's more just like a careful analysis of the entire like topic of fantasy. Ella's asking if you like watermelon. Sure. Why not? Thanks, Ella. You have to know the rules before you break them. Yeah, exactly. The problem is though that understanding the rules is so much more deep. Like, what's the term for it? That I think is the Dunning-Kruger effect. Or like, what was there's like a Richard Feynman quote about physics. It's something like, if you think you understand particle physics, you don't understand particle physics, or whatever. And I think that's the same with this. So like, I'll ask a lot of questions and I don't trust almost anybody who has an answer. And I'm fine with that because I think that it happens. I'm so comfortable asking questions and exploring the space like a fucking ether. We open it up with a question and then we wander around and they're looking for answers. But I'm never arrogant enough to think that when we see something that fits or feels good, that that's the answer. And so it's like, yeah, you have to know the rules. The problem is every time I think I might have known the rules, I realize that I had no idea what the rules were. That they weren't even in the same universe. And it's like, I've had a couple moments like that. I started reading this book that was about the way that George, like it had a preface in it that talked about the way that George Lucas thought about the anthropological storytelling and sort of the Jungian archetypical storytelling that he used for Star Wars. And I started reading it trying to figure out, because I think that avoiding Star Wars as a popular sort of like, you know, modern myth would be a mistake, right? It'd be a very big mistake to say that Star Wars is not like kind of god tier for a reason. And so I think that a lot of it comes down to the intentionality of applying old stories to a new kind of like cool skin of like this kind of space pop, hot rods in the sky with classical music. And so I was reading about George Lucas talking about the anthropological origin of a lot of the stories that he tells in Star Wars. And I realized midway through that if I had read that 2 years ago, I would have nodded along and been like, oh, makes sense. But I had learned enough to know that I had no fucking clue at the core of what he was talking about. And I actually sat there and like had like a serious moment of dread. Like I think I might have like teared up a little bit, where I was like, I'm so far away from being the person that I need to be to write the kind of story that I want to write. I finally understood, the clouds lifted and I finally saw the vastness of the space between where I was and where I needed to be to tell the kind of story I want to tell. And it was like overwhelming. And I was like, I have to literally go for like a little fucking mini like degree in human whatever to actually know how to do this. And so I was like, you know what, let me start where he referenced certain authors like Joseph Campbell, people that tried to like understand this problem of how to write an archetypical like story that means something to people on a core level when we don't know what those core identifiers are. And I was like, let me go back to the beginning, to the basics. Okay, let me start my education. And I started reading one of Joseph Campbell's books, and I sat there again after about 4 pages. I was like, oh my God, I'm not even smart enough to read this yet. Holy fuck. So I have to go back even further and extrapolate and abstract even more to be able to start at a starting point where I can actually create like a first principles idea where 1 + 1 is fucking 2. And like not this like theoretical kind of like math or whatever that is creating something that means something in a story that's interesting, and actually trying to figure out what tropes, what archetypes, what important things are actually meaningful to storytelling that we care about and what things aren't. And I'm still stumbling around in the dark a little bit. So I don't know. Like, that might not have seemed like a deep question of what kind of tropes you subvert, but like to me that's like almost in some ways one of the entire missions, I guess. But yeah. Sorry, I'm listening to you like a podcast while I'm playing the hunter, but geez. Wait, what? Why? You don't have to be sorry for that. Geez, what? Wait, what? I'm so confused. You don't have to apologize for listening to my stream like a podcast. That's perfectly fine. Most people engage with my stream like that. Especially the time of day that I stream. Like, if I wanted full levels of fucking chat speed, I'd stream at like 8 p.m. my time. You're good, man. As I kind of put it, fantasy is always derived from events in reality. Yeah, the problem is that we're very good. You're right about that in some ways. We're very good in our head at like over countless generations of extrapolating reality into abstractions that become the fantasy. And the thing is that we don't consciously do it, so we can't identify how to do it. Right? And so how do you reference that? How do you create something meaningful? How do you create a story that resonates with people? Like truly resonates. True human stories about human experience. Without knowing kind of like exactly what that looks like. And I think it's impossible. I don't know if anyone's really done it properly since Star Wars and Tolkien. That's probably unfair because there's probably some other smaller entries, maybe Dune. But like I was thinking to myself, like, I need to read fantasy authors before I can write fantasy. And I was asking everybody about what I should read, and we went through this whole like meme for like 2 weeks about how all modern fantasy, novels are just smut and whatever. Let's try and find the non-smut for Evan to actually learn how to write whatever fantasy. And everyone said, read Brandon Sanderson, read Sanderson. He's the best fantasy writer of our time. And Ella started reading Sanderson, not like for me, but just because like she wanted some fantasy to read, and people said it was really good, and she was like, okay, cool. But after she was like 5 or 6 books in, she's like, Evan, you don't want to read Sanderson. And I was like, why? She's like, because you're trying to create myth, and Sanderson's a tale, a dramatic kind of theatric, like really well written, but you're trying to create a myth. And Sanderson isn't fantasy that's mythological. It's not like Lord of the Rings. She's like, I think you're stuck. I think you're still stuck with Lord of the Rings and Silmarillion. It's like, fuck, man. So I don't think that anyone's really drawn. Oh, thank you, Ella. Thank you, the Ella. Yeah, I don't think anyone's really done it the way that I feel like I want it or whatever. I probably don't need to measure this, right? I think there's so few calories in this that I can probably just, whatever, fuck it. Fuck it, it's Friday. Goddamn. That's good shit, bro. Where did you go after attempting Joseph Campbell? My intuition is to try and understand the I'm gonna poorly explain this, okay? Because I'm not good at trying to crystallize a big idea. I like to explore big ideas, but I'm not very good at crystallizing them. So I'm gonna poorly explain this, but here's my understanding sort of loosely right now. Stories that really matter tap into a part of our brain where we know that a thing is true. And that's either evolutionarily, religiously, whatever, spiritually. You can trace them through all these different traditions and whatever, but we know that it's like true. Why do you have a story that appears in sub-Saharan Africa X thousand years ago and also appears in, northern Inuit Canada, whatever, similar stories? That's kind of like why do we both, what? These cultures weren't connected. Why do they both come up with the same story? Because there's certain things that are true that we like kind of like go off. So that's what makes a really good story. A good story is something that we're like, wow, that's that. I don't know what I like about that, but that's a fucking story that resonates. So that's the Star Wars part and Lord of the Rings part. Then you go back and you're like, well, how do we tell those stories? Let's study that phenomenon, that effect. So that's Joseph Campbell and other authors talking about the fact that that thing happens. My understanding is then to understand that, you have to understand the psychology of how the brain forms ideas. So there's 2 kind of paths you can go. 3 if you really want to be abstract, but I think that maybe the third one might be a little contentious. So I'll keep that shit to myself for now. But the first one path is either evolutionarily, like evolutionary biology, imperative, things like that, or psychologically. And so you could go back to like a lot of the Campbellian ideas are based off of Jungian psychology, right? which is very within the psychology sphere, very contentious as well. You know, the trueness of archetypes and things like that, and the Freudian whatever. Like, it's a whole thing. So it's almost like you have to go to the root of understanding how the mind works to then understand how we evolved to utilize that, to understand how we apply that to stories, to then apply it to a story, which is so abstract and such a long path that you then begin to understand and respect exactly why no one does it these days. And it's sort of like art. If you see, dude, wait, I just realized this is so fucking true. Hold on. Yeah, no, okay, this is exploring a big idea. This makes so much sense to me. So I talk this with art all the time, that you can't start in a derivative. So art is a representation of reality in some ways. So we're going to start at the top, reality. Now, within that, we can draw true realism. And people who say they draw realism, they don't draw realism. They're not good enough. No one's been good enough for fucking thousands of years. So realism out the window. You're not drawing realism. What you're doing is you're doing better than realism. You're doing a type of art that is using a nuance that the brain creates when it sees a shape and finishes the shape. Right? That's why when you see the shadows of a face, you can identify as a face. This is why when we look at the clouds or look at mountains, we're like, oh, that looks like a mad face. You know, when I do like some art of like a belt buckle and it looks like, you know, this or whatever, people are like, it's got like two, you know, or whatever, two like snaps or something on the belt clasp. You're like, that looks like a Muppet, because you see faces and things. That's what we're good at. Okay. So you play on that, and to master that skill, that is like the classical art skill. Okay. And that's a derivative of reality. So you are making a derivative representation of reality. Next down that, you have various levels of derivations. So you have things that are more close to reality that then skew away from reality to help communicate ideas or to be expedient in the process. So you have things at the top. That's sort of like the concept art. Concept art style. And then maybe below that, you have like American comic books. And then below that, you might have like kind of American fan art. And then below that, you might have anime. And then below that, you might have American cartoons. You know, so the problem is, if you walk into anime and you love the derivations that they make in anime, you like the derivative sort of like representations that anime has, because you love the big eyes and the expressive whatever, and you love the style of anime, and you as a little people artist, you say, well, I want to learn anime, so I'm going to learn anime. And you know, air quote, learn anime. You get only okay at it before you realize that you hit a roof, you hit a plateau. You don't know what the fuck you're doing because you've only learned how you don't know how an eye works. You know how to draw an anime eye. You're like, oh, you draw this, you do that, and then you do this, and you do that, and you do this thing there, and then you do that, and you can add a little reflection here. You don't understand exactly how that's working. You don't understand the function and the form of how eyelids work, and how the fucking eyeball moves within the, you know, as a sphere within the lids. You don't understand how eyelashes, you know, come at you in perspective and fade away. And so you can't make the choices to make them in a derivative without understanding how it really works if you want to do something actually interesting. So a lot of artists hit that wall and they go, oh my God, I have no idea how to do art. And so what you have to do is, if you want to actually be good at a style, you never learn the derivative. And all the masters of these styles, of these derivatives, all learned as close to representational art as they could, as close to classical art as they could, so that they can make the choices. Like Taku said earlier, you have to know the rules to break them. And when you hear that, you don't know what it means, but this is what it means. If you don't understand the fundamentals, you can't stylistically represent them in a way that actually fits. So the same thing I think is true with the writing ideas. That the reason why everyone's like, I'm gonna write fantasy, and they don't create fantasy that really has that what the fuck is this? Everyone likes this. Like the Harry Potters, the fucking Star Wars, the Lord of the Rings, that really have this massive appeal that just like people from generations love these stories for whatever reason. You're like, why does everyone love this shit? Because it resonates, you know? You might stumble into it. I don't know exactly what kind of fucking background Rowling had to create such an archetypical story. Maybe she stumbled into it. I don't know. But like, it was certainly intentional for Tolkien and Lucas. And I think that's the problem, is if you want to learn fantasy, you have to first learn like the human mind first. And this might sound a bit dramatic. Like, I just heard like 45 fucking eyes rolling in chat as soon as I said that. But it's like, it's kind of how I feel about it. Like, you have to be able to like really understand how the person works before you can understand how to make a story that resonates with the person. And it has a lot of the same progression path as the fundamentals of art, and that's why nobody fucking does it. I just realized that shit. Holy god damn, man. Okay, all right, that's cool. That connection's cool because it makes sense to me then at that point in time, you know? So like, just simply writing fantasy isn't gonna be enough for me. I have to da capo that shit from the top, baby. You know? Were you saying I agree? Well, at least I don't sound completely crazy, Leo. You said there are 3 pathways, though, and going back to the basics of psychology was one of them. Or did I misunderstand? Yeah, so I think, okay. So there's 3 pathways. And the problem is that I think that you can study all 3 of them, but I think only 2 of them are, like, socially acceptable to talk about in like, decent society, because all right. So here's the issue. The pathways where I think you can really study the human brain across storytelling, whatever, blah, 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 is evolutionarily, whatever, evolutionary, like why, how we evolve, evolutionary imperatives, why we do certain things. The second is psychologically, how our mind works. And the third, let me say like gently, is metaphorically. And so in metaphorical truths and stuff like that, you run into places, you find those things in like religious texts, in myth. The problem is when you refer to a religious text as metaphorical truth to somebody who's a religious person, they get offended, where they're like, it's not metaphorical truth, this is my religion, how dare you say it's metaphor? And you're like, okay, fine, I'm sorry. But then you say, oh, you can find these kind of like traces of how to do this in like biblical stories and whatnot. You say that to somebody who's non-religious, they're like, whoa, stop trying to push religion on me. There's not a separation of like what it is from like what they think it is. So there's no way to not have somebody, I think, forming a very strong opinion when you say, yeah, if you want to figure out how to tell a really good story and a really human story, maybe you should read the religious texts of the world. Right? Because either you're downplaying the legitimacy of it to somebody who is religious, or you are dealing with the impact of people who don't want to deal with that. You know what I mean? It's not a great way of explaining it. So I don't really want to get into it because like it's hard to talk about without somebody getting fucking heated. It's like the whole, you know, we don't talk about religion, politics, and whatever on the stream. Well, then we're opening the conversation on certain religious ideas and stories and whatnot. And that's just not something I want to get into because I don't trust the greater internet to have that conversation responsibly without somebody getting butthurt. But I think that that's the other place you can go. Then you can look at this, is you can look through and you can see like, well, why are why are these stories so true? Why is this like Harry Potter is the fucking Messiah, chosen one, whatever, Jesus story, the death and rebirth, all these themes that are true, that are metaphorically true for whatever humanity, are found in this text or that text or whatever. And then yeah, again, you lose people very quickly, I think, when you start talking about sort of stories and like that for one reason or another. And fair enough, right? It's a very tricky topic, or you know. Now psychology, having to do research, so I make the comic strip has been believable human choices. That's tough, right? As far as world building goes, oh god, my paragraph braid isn't working today. Hold on, let me try and get through this. Yeah, I think that's a core. I think that's a good point. And Night. I think that there's other things where it is it's a more understandable representation of true stories. right? Because the fantasy serves in a lot of ways, I think, as a metaphor, right? Dragons, demons, angels, monsters, sorcery, magic. In a lot of ways, it's all metaphorical, like ways of referring to ideas that we all feel are true. So that in addition, you know, it's a very cool rabbit hole, and I agree with it. You can suspend disbelief, but to truly resonate, you have to reflect on the human condition. Yeah, exactly. And the problem is, no one can say exactly what that means, because it's one of those things that we like, it's so deeply embedded in our psyche that we can identify it when we see it, but we don't know how to, like, it's the way I'd refer to it, Steve, in some ways, is like, you know, you can recognize a face, but if I ask you to perfectly draw a face without the training in art, you couldn't do it. Shit, I can't do it. I mean, I got training in art and I'm still shit at it. But you know what I mean, right? You know it's true, but if I say, okay, now do it, you're like, I can't draw it. Like if you saw a picture of, I don't know, Brad Pitt, you'd be like, that's Brad Pitt. But if I say draw Brad Pitt, you'd be like, I don't fucking know how to do that. Right? In some ways, I see it as the same way when it comes to like telling like real stories. So it's very difficult. Decent society sounds like a myth, yeah. I think William Shakespeare works resonate so well because they were based in human nature. Sure, that's a good example too. You know, I didn't bring that one up, but I'm going to start using that one too. But because I think you're true, I think you're right about that, Life Lines. I think he had true stories as well. Very mythological, modern renditions of stories, modern for his time. Even true stories go into tales like the classical fishing story. Dude caught a record-breaking fish legitimately. Turns out dude caught a fish as long as he was tall and ate his fishing pole, flopped out of the boat and swam off, tormenting him to this day. Yeah, that's funny. So it's really tough, right? Because then also people have like preconceptions of what they love about fantasy. So when you dissolve those things a little bit, sometimes people get very heated in it. So I need to figure out, I'm still learning how to talk about fantasy ideas without getting stun locked. My rule now is I won't debate anybody about an idea. If someone questions or attacks or challenges an idea I have, I'll entertain it briefly by responding to that, and then I'm done. I'm done. Because some people get very stuck. Like some of the only times I've ever had to ban people are when somebody will not accept an idea. Let me give you an example. The first time this ever happened where I really realized, wait, this is actually a fucking problem. I was talking about tieflings. And I can't obviously have tieflings in Eldara because tieflings are a Wizard of the Coast property. So people love fucking horns on their characters and tails and blue skin. Cool. People love that shit. People love tieflings. In every game, people want to play tieflings. They want to play, you know, Togruta in Star Wars. They want to play Draenei in World of Warcraft. People love tieflings, okay? And so it's a cool enough idea that I want to put it in Eldara, right? Horned, blue, cool people, you know, whatever. And my assertion on it was that basically the whole idea about tieflings is nobody really cared. Because I was talking about tieflings and I was saying like, yeah, you know, there's I can't also have tieflings because I don't have the hells and demons and whatnot in the same way and devils in Eldara. So I need to treat them differently. So I disconnected them from being demonic, right? And someone got so upset with that idea that they wouldn't be demonic and that you wouldn't have the 9 hells and that you wouldn't have all this stuff, that it couldn't be fantasy without that. And I'm saying like basically the majority of people just want the aesthetics of the tiefling. They don't actually care if they're a fucking, you know, demon of Asmodeus or who the fuck cares. Most people want the aesthetics. How do we know? Because people love Draenei and World of Warcraft and other things like that. They don't care. They just want to be hot and blue, man. And most people can kind of laugh and be like, yeah, okay, true. And obviously there's more to it. But like most people are like, okay, yeah, fair enough, Evan. But one person got so heated, so attacked because they love tieflings. Their identity was tieflings. They play tieflings in every game. How dare you say that you can do tieflings in a different way that you think is better? In order to say that I want to do something different, it is to say and imply that I think I can do it better, or that I want to try and do it better. And to even attempt to do something better than the pre-existing beloved thing, some people get very attached to, and they get very defensive, and they get very upset. And I got stun locked by that person for probably an hour, until I was like, what the fuck am I doing? And I banned them. And I was so bothered that somebody that was such a cool, like, average, nice chatter, cool person just got lost their fucking mind, went rabid, sub of multiple years, had to get banned. I was so upset by that I had to, like, go for a walk. I was, like, walking around this pond, and I was like, what did I do wrong? How the fuck did that happen? Because I didn't really understand or respect just the defensive nature of that, about how much that person loved tieflings, that they're like, oh my god, how dare you tell me that I am inadequate because I am tieflings. And there's so many things like that in fantasy that people attach themselves to, their identity, that now when I talk about redoing, redesigning, rewriting, anything in fantasy, I have to do it very carefully. And as careful as I am, there's always a risk that somebody loses their shit. And so the only way I can deal with that is basically if somebody attacks, criticizes, or challenges an idea, and they will say things like, well, you can't stand your idea being challenged, you can't take the criticism. I talked to a much bigger streamer than me about this for art, and he was like, no, if somebody criticizes you, it's your fucking stream. They're immediately wrong. Fuck them. You don't have to take anyone's critique. You don't have to take anyone's criticism. It doesn't matter. It's your fucking stream, man. I was like, fair enough. So I'll respond to that kind of stuff. I'll like give just like if someone wants to challenge an idea, especially if they're doing it really respectfully, that's totally fine. But if someone doesn't have that social awareness to understand how to challenge an idea respectfully, they're like, I'm just blunt. Okay, well, sorry, you don't jump over the social bar then. If somebody's challenging, attacking whatever idea, I'll respond to it, give my general like justification for it. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's just, yeah, that's my vibe, man. People don't like it, and then I'm done. And I will not respond to it again. I will not be stun locked by an idea, right? Which is kind of funny and stupid, I guess. But how you read the giveaways? Well, that guy had to get banned, but he wasn't a long time viewer anyway, so. Right? Wouldn't the world be boring if everyone thought and behaved exactly the same way? Yeah, I think that like it's easy to say that, but I think a lot of people get really, divided and tribal and stuck in their own ideas. So, yeah, of course, Steve, but like then there wouldn't be political unrest, there wouldn't be debate, there wouldn't be like all this like division, right? People associate themselves with an idea, and they aggressively defend that idea's legitimacy. So even people who will say, I'm not saying you do this, Steve, but I've heard other people say things like, man, it's so nice that we're all so different, and then they attack other people for being different. So you'd think, but like observing this happen in real time, like over the course of the last couple of years, I've seen people think that they're very like accepting of different ideas and like they love seeing new shit in fantasy, and then you suggest that the new shit in fantasy is their favorite thing, and they lose their fucking mind. It's really bizarre. Alchemy is becoming a lost art, 100%, because you have to have a legitimate curiosity for what the other person's position is to actually debate them. Reasonable minds can differ. I like that. Reasonable minds can differ. Restorative tieflings, horned humans with different colored skin, and tails or magic users. Some with extra-dimensional creatures be familiars. That's cool. That diluted over time to tieflings. Oh, I see. Is that how it happened? Interesting. Fucking lit, yo. Yeah, I don't know. Challenging the norm is like always very dangerous. I do take the hostility sometimes as a light, a guiding light in the right direction. Because if somebody wasn't getting butthurt and offended that I'm choosing to like try a new rendition of an idea, then probably what I'm doing is not very intrepid, bold, different, whatever you want to say. If it's not like bold enough to not ruffle a couple of feathers, then it's probably not bold enough to be interesting. So it comes with the territory. Absolutely does. Unfortunately though, because it's a lot of like negativity that you have to deal with, but navigating it is the art. It is the true art. I try and navigate it well, but I know I'm not going to do it well because, I'm only human after all. I'm not a brass dragon. Come on, man. What the hell? What do I look like? An expert public speaker? dragons, man. Being good at all the things. Well, yeah, I think most people appreciate the like exploration of ideas, but the problem is people that like aren't used to that, they'll come to the stream not knowing that's kind of something we do every once in a while, is explore ideas and talk about shit like that, and then they'll be very upset. It'll be very upsetting to them. So, you know, we are only human. Yeah, life finds, you get it. We're not robots yet, but soon. Got banned from a community once for arguing that succubi and tieflings weren't substantially different. The only Discord got really mad at me for the second after they responded, I was banned. Weird. Weird, dude. I don't know. Yeah, well. It's never a good feeling to get banned, ostracized, othered, outed, sent to the abyss, exiled, whatever it is. It's a very jarring experience for us little peepo humans. That's why I hardly ban anybody for any reason. You have to really cross a fucking steep line to do it. The threshold for me banning somebody, like actually banning them, is like very, very high. And I get shit talked all the time by other streamers because of it. I get called a pushover and whatever else. But I don't agree with them, so. Okay, hair time. Fucking let's go, man. Let's go. My favorite part of this piece. Doing the dope ass braids, yo. Any regular pods or anything you listen to on the topic of writing? No, I don't really. I try and listen to people who talk about writing that I like find their writing interesting. Or people talking about writing that I think the writing is interesting and hearing other opinions on it. But no, I don't have any like podcasts that I listen to about that. I listen to some podcasts about like neuroscience and like interesting stuff about like fitness and philosophy, but nothing you know, and if there's like any of the big podcasters, if there's a really interesting guest on it, then I'll watch that. But I don't have like any reliable sort of go-tos, unfortunately. Wish I did. I have tried to listen to read and then listen to people talk about writing that's considered to be like profound works of literature. So I think that there are the same thing we like the things we want to apply to fantasy writing. I think you can find it in lots of other types of fiction, right? Hello, Sabine. Like human stuff. Yeah, human stuff is interesting. Understanding how the brain works for me, from a neuroscience perspective, helps me. If I can connect an idea, if I can connect an idea of why we do something. So like if I have a behavior that I want to change, and that can be like a habit or a routine.
I like the idea of reimagining old ideas,
yeah?
Even though I don't believe one should have to go the extra mile here like Evan does it, and also prefer the established fantasy myself at times.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough, right? That's totally reasonable. He's on a bit set, because I appreciate that though. So if I'm trying to change a behavior, and whether it's a habit or routine or some shit, you know, whenever you're basically like, why the fuck do I do this stupid thing? To me, understanding the behavior from 3 different explanations is really helpful. And if I can unite those 3, it helps me a lot. So the first will be the psychology. Of like, here's why you do this dumb thing. The next is the neuroscientific way. And the third is the spiritual. And this isn't necessarily spiritual in like a woo-woo shit. It's kind of like, oh, here's like here's why we get addicted to stuff psychologically. Here's why we get addicted to stuff neuroscientifically. And here's why we get addicted to stuff based on some fucking idea in some, you know, ashram in India from 1,000 years ago. So spiritual traditions, not necessarily the spirituality of it, but if it's like an idea on how to like do something that's like this, like, ooh, this like kind of woo-woo-y stuff that like kind of works out, and it's like, ooh, wait, why does that work out? That's kind of weird. But then you understand then from a like neuroscience level why the brain performs this thing or whatever, or feels this way, and then from the psychology level you can just like analyze that shit and be like, well, here's why, you know. And so it's very if I can understand an idea, any inadequacy that I've wanted to overcome, any sort of part of myself, mental barriers, blocks, whatever, that I've ever run into, by looking at something from these 3 standpoints really help. So like this might be, like you said, the Huberman podcast, to understand how the brain looks. These 2 can often come from a really cool place called Healthy Gamer, which is a lot of people know him on Twitch. He's a Harvard psychiatrist named Dr. K that streams on Twitch and talks about a lot of this stuff. So he'll talk about like an idea that is found in both like sort of, you know, Hindu whatever or Buddhist whatever, that's also a thing that there's like clinical science. So you could say instead of psychology, call this like clinical psychology. And yeah, I find it very interesting. If I can understand an idea about that, if I understand, like, let's just say like feeling bad about yourself, if you can understand why the old yogis talk about that, and you can also understand why we tend to feel bad about ourselves, and you can also understand how the serotonergic system works, then you like, oh, accept the idea a little bit better, and it's easy for me to like process it and understand it. So like for one big part of that is like overcoming addiction and understanding why I did things that I didn't want to do, right? Because I was a mess like 10 years ago, man. Like I stopped talking about it because I'm kind of crushing it, to be honest. But I'm kidding. But my stream always used to be my redemption arc in life. Evan at 25 years old was a complete fucking loser, dropout failure. I was 100 pounds heavier. I'm still fat, but like I'm working on it, man. I was 100 pounds heavier. I was addicted to you know, social media and video games. I couldn't get my head out of World of Warcraft, and it was the only place I actually felt like I was anybody, right? I was pretty stuck in my own whatever, unambitious, and suffering for it. And so, you know, like I've had to think very, very deeply on how to like overcome my inadequacies. So that's why that I think so much about that kind of stuff, is because it's been such a theme for me in trying to figure out, because I'd given up on my art career, by the way. I didn't think I'd ever be an artist. I gave up on it. I thought I dropped out. I'd failed. I had not done what things I wanted to do. I thought it was over for me, man. The only reason why I was able to sort of take another shot at it, to start trying to push again, was because Ella. She never gave up on me. Even when for half a decade I didn't give her anything to believe in, she still believed in me. And so that's why I gave it such a real shot and tried so hard to like figure it out and to really go deep into the brain and understand why the fuck I was a complete loser fuck up. And you understand exactly how things are your fault and exactly things that aren't your fault. You understand how to process with the things that are either way and how to live in the modern world. You understand how I had to understand what video games were doing to me psychologically, spiritually, and neuro fucking chemically, to understand why and how to give up games. I had to understand the same thing with food and addiction, to understand how to give up high processed, palatable, sugary, whatever snacks and shit like that, to actually be able to like start losing weight and get healthy. I had to understand how physical activity would make me better and increase my mental capacity creatively, whatever. And if I couldn't be told all these things on different levels, it just wouldn't resonate with me. So yeah, that's why I think about it so much, right? You talk about, but this was a vibe. Have a lovely rest of your stream. Taco, you're amazing. I appreciate you. You are a lovely human being that my life and the lives of all the people who know you are better off for you simply existing. You need not do anything more or less or different than you do by simply existing. You make the world a better place. So I appreciate you, Taco. Thanks for chilling. But yeah, my mechanics with hearts. It's getting too real now. Hey man, look, I'm just talking about my own shit. All right, I ain't putting on anybody else or whatever. I'm just talking about my own journey. Figuring out how to be a better Evan. It's different for all of us, you know? It's different for everyone. And like, comes with ups and downs. I don't do everything well, you know? I still don't live up to the standard that I set for myself for what a good artist is. And not in skill level, but in practices. I don't live up to the standard that I set for that. When I joke and say I'm not a real artist, it's not because I think that I'm bad or not good enough or whatever. It's because it's that I don't act like a successful, accomplished, dedicated artist that I know I could be, you know. It has nothing to do with my actual skill level. I think I'm actually pretty good. Big up, sounds like it's been a trial. And look you now. Yeah, thanks, dude. Yeah, I mean, it has. It was, you know what? You're right about that. And I appreciate that. We get better day by day, man. That's what we do. People are so good at shit, man. People are, like, when you learn and realize just exactly how good we are at doing stuff, it's like faith in humanity restored. We can do anything if we, like, really have, like, the means and reason and whatnot. And meaning. Like, we could even draw hot K-pop demon hunters, dude. And maybe get one like on Twitter from a cool VTuber you follow. Oh my god, could you imagine? Could you imagine if Ashy of Heart likes my tweet when I tweet this shit? That's good as an Ella believing you, right? Yeah, I mean, Ella's a superhero, man. When I talk about how Ella's my, like, drawing Ella's characters is my favorite thing to do, because without Ella's first characters in Eldara, there would be no Eldara. We owe everything that we ever have in the realms to Amelia Hearthwood. That was Ella's first character she made in our D&D game for Eldara. Lady Amelia Hearthwood, Paladin of the Growlhammer. So I gotta do an updated art for Ella Blackwood. Ella Blackwood as in the character, not the person. I had to get on that shit, yo. I've been slacking. I've been doing too much work. Comms, adventures, everything. I gotta get back to basics and do some Ella Blackwood fan art. Wait, is it fan art if it's my own character that I made for her? Shit. Monka. How does that work? You can't call it fan art because then people will say it's canon now. I'm like, ah, shit. Then you're stuck. Next thing you know, you're writing an adventure and people are like, yo, how do I also be whatever silly idea you came up with for your fan art of your own stuff? Damn it, stuck again. Put in a prison of my own success. I made my fan art too cool of my own thing. Here's what we're drawing today. We're drawing, it is Fan Art Friday. Alright, it is Fan Art Friday. An ancient tradition in my stream from years past. The elder days before the fall. Back when the thrones of Nagathron and Gondolin had their elvish kings. Back in the world when it was young. When the mountains were green. No stain yet on the moon was seen. No words were laid, streamer stone. When the ancient and mighty Durin woke and walked alone. You ceased to be, and he named the nameless hills and dells. He drank, indeed, from untasted wells. He even stooped and looked in... God damn it. In the middle of my Song of Durin... Okay, fair enough. Yeah, alright. Get back in the locker, Evan. In the ancient days, thanks 100-bit settings, I appreciate it. For the time when humans were... When the humans... Wait. of the humans when the dragons walked the world. Exactly, Leo gets it. I used to do this tradition called Fan Art Friday, where I'd take a departure from my own project and I'd do some silly fan art. And it only lasted for a little while of my streaming time before I replaced it with Free Sketch Friday. And that was fun. I loved doing that for so long that it lasted like 3 years that I did Free Sketch Fridays. And then when we killed the Free Sketch Friday, when we ended that season, I didn't return to Fan Art Friday. I just worked on stuff and just had normal streams on Friday, which is great. I liked it. But I decided that I've been feeling the desire, the itch, the calling to doing some fan art for things that I like recently. And you know what? If I'm just doing little silly portraits on Fridays once in a while, I'm not going to say every Friday's me Fan Art Friday. Of course not. But today is, in fact, not the, but a Fan Art Friday. Yep. Got some awesome stuff on Free Sketch Fridays. Lovely work. It was fun. I really enjoyed them. They were great. I'm glad you enjoyed your sketches that you got. I might do, because I've been doing, like, I have done more sketch portraiture in the last, I don't know, like 3 months than I had in the previous like 3 or 4 years or something crazy like that. And I realized when I was doing the sketch, I got to about here, maybe in like 20 or 30 minutes. And it's still an ugly process to get here. It's a lot of like I really don't like my sketch process. There's like a lot of measuring and stuff like that, and then blocking shapes. And it's like I have multiple layers of like kind of really messy shit that I like have to kind of erase around and like clean up as I'm going. It's like it's not good. It's not a nice process to watch, to like kind of create a character sketch to the point where I'm like willing to use it as a base sketch on stream, right? And it's a whole process. It's iterative and whatnot, and it's not very nice to look at. And I'm like kind of speed running through it a little bit right now. Right, but to get to arrive, like to do this whole process here, and arrive at something that I'm willing to use my undersketch for stream, it takes a while. Sometimes multiple tries, but I've been hitting it more and more recently where I'm just one-shotting it. And as soon as I feel like I can one-shot it consistently enough to do some good work, then I think what we might do is we might do character request sketches where it would be only to this level. So it'd be kind of messy. It'd be like more rendered features, more abstracted hair, and then more abstracted clothing, right? The important things you see, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the features, right? The shape of the face. You see these things first, and then you go out from that into contextualizing shapes and lines and stuff like that, right? But I'm getting better at it, and I might do character request sketches on stream for like very basic, very quick sketches at some point in time, as I've been practicing, getting faster and better and more confident with that. If I can start one-shotting it, I might even start recording that process, even if it's like ugly to look at, just to like, I don't know, show the thing start to finish or whatever. Feels like Friday. It kind of does it, right? You know? Items and locations. I think you need some gnomes, Evan. The gnomish proportions are interesting. That's the problem with it, is I don't know how to do the short races of fantasy, whether the short folk of, you know, Lord of the Rings races or D&D species or World of Warcraft races. Like, it's just it's tough because you kind of need to go in one of 2 or 3 directions, and I don't know the best one. You either need to make them just proportionally humans but small, and that's your hobbits. You need to make them proportionally hilarious, and that's your World of Warcraft gnomes, or you need to make them proportionally childlike, and that's your Lalafell. And all 3 of those present challenges and interesting different issues that can pop up with it. And I'm not sure the best way to handle the short folk of Eldara. There's only one very small kind of Eldaran population. They are known as the Awar, and they are very small and very short to the eye. Besides these like ultra short and kind of fucking 1 foot tall people that are awesome and hilarious, and I like them, but they're not really playable. So that's, you know, fair enough. I don't know. There's not like a one size fits all way to handle it, and I haven't figured out what the best way to do it for Eldara is. Thinking about making them inherently like magical and almost alien like. Because one of my issues with a lot of like modern fantasy is that it's too folktale, and for good reason. But it could really benefit from a little bit of the science fiction irreverence that we see in sci-fi. The crumbs, yeah. Oh boy. Imagine playable crumbs. Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, that's oh god, that's a recipe literally for disaster, if you ask me. Playable crumbs. That'd be funny though. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see if once I'm good enough, I'll probably do character request sketches on Fridays. I might do. I was thinking about doing some as well on Twitter, and doing some VTuber portraits of like VTuber friends of mine, because the VTuber portraits that I did were great, and the people who got them loved them, and that's awesome. Except for Miniful. That's literally the 666-bit redemption, is her saying she hated her art for me. So, you know, everyone liked it besides her. Miwa Bell liked it so much she even called me bestie. But I like doing the VTuber stuff for my VTuber friends, but the problem is it's so involved that I don't get to do like art for all the people I want to do art for. So I think I might do like a thing where I make an actual YouTube video about drawing VTubers in my style. And I pick a bunch of VTubers I know off Twitter or whatever, and I draw them like sort of in this kind of sketch style in portrait form. And see if people like it, you know? I don't know, it'd be kind of a fun thing. Because I like the whole like culture and design and character thing around VTubers. There's a lot of the VTubing space that I'm not particularly fond of, but a lot of the character design stuff I think is really cool. So, other VTuber rigs, something like that, yeah, around that reference sheet rig kind of general vibe. What's a crumb? Lifevines. A crumb is a creature referred to simply only as crumb, but its full name is the Relician feathered goblin monkey. Now, if you're familiar with Star Wars, you might have remembered a character from Revenge of the Jedi, later renamed Return of the Jedi. Jabba's Jester, a small brown goblin-like monkey named Salacious B. Crumb. Hey, Misprint gets it. Misprint gets it. That's a fucking crumb right there. Thanks to the tier 3 for 41 months, Misprint. I appreciate it, dude. How you doing, bro? What the fuck, man? Thanks for the support. Yeah, that's the crumb right there. That's the fucking crumb. Thank you, dude. I'm honored. Seriously. And so, Salacious B. Crumb is my favorite Star Wars character. I don't know why I think he's awesome. Hilarious little goblin, terrible little, you know, villain. I like Salacious B. Crumb. And so when I first started streaming, I didn't take streaming very seriously because I didn't think that I could, right? I didn't think I could. And I found out that if you got affiliated, which means that you could have a sub badge. I'm an affiliate. I'm not a real streamer. I'm not a partner. I'm just an affiliate. Once you get even the lowly level of affiliate, you get sub badge, which means you get sub emotes. And so the joke was, oh, I should get affiliated on Twitch just so I can make my own emote of a crumb, of Salacious B. Crumb. So I could post it, because in our Discord, for like our World of Warcraft friends and our, like, you know, core friend group, I had an emote of Salacious B. Crumb making his dumb, like, weird face expression that I used all the time. And I was like, I wish I had that emote on Twitch. And so I thought to myself, well, okay, you know, fine, I'll get affiliated on Twitch so I can make my own crumb emote. And it was a joke, and we all thought it was funny, and I got affiliated then, whatever. You know, the result of that, though, was I didn't realize streaming would go so well for me, and I'd, you know, meet people who actually wanted to see what I did, and then it becomes serious. But it became more and more serious, and I realized that I couldn't have a joke of a character that is like a Star Wars IP as an emote for me. That, like, it's fun if it was like, if it was just for me as my personal emote on Twitch, and like maybe like Ella and a couple of my friends, it's fine. But once I passed like several hundred subscribers, I realized I can't have an IP thing from Star Wars as an emote on my channel. I just don't want to do that. So I created my own version, my own like thing inspired by the Rylisian feathered goblin, or sorry, the Quackian monkey lizard, which is what Salacious B. Crumb is. He's called the Quackian monkey lizard. I created the Rylisian feathered goblin monkey to reference the Quackian monkey lizard. And you can see the little Crumb emotes in chat down below where I am on Twitch. And so I made my new emote. And so he's this little terrible creature with a kind of a pointed kind of triangular face, kind of Grinch-like, and instead of having like the beak and whatnot, he has like long elvish kind of like goblin ears, and he has this like little fucking gross like unibrow kind of like forehead fat tuft whatever, these like beady eyes, and has like a little shitty like angry like smirk and a little goblin-y nose, and he has feathers around his neck, and he's fat, and he's like got kind of like clawed monkey proportions, and that's a Rylisian feathered goblin monkey, and so people called it Crumb with a K instead of Salacious B. Crumb with a C. The joke is that I just made the emotes all Crumb with a K, and so people call this thing a Crumb. It's actually a Rylisian feathered goblin monkey. The one that's the mascot for the stream is just called Crumb. So I have no idea why we got on that, but I'm happy we got to tell a story again for Life Vines. I don't even remember why I referenced it. There's something so satisfying in watching you add a small black line sketch suddenly to marvelous, voluminous braid. Ooh. Sabine, I appreciate that. Thank you. That's a compliment right there. See, Sabine, that's why you're fucking VIP, alright? None of this meta of shit-talking Evan, of lol, keck, scuffed artist, can't even draw a straight line, you know? None of this shit, just nice supportiveness, man. So refreshing. Holy fuck. Thanks, Sabine. The Gobmon rat Java pet thing. Exactly, Leo. Crumb is awesome, but this is the best emote. Did you know that's actually Ella's character, Amelia? Do you know the lore behind that emote, Sabine? Did you know that all my emotes are actually characters from Eldara, except for one? That emote, which here I'll gigantify it so you can see it. That emote, the Evanable Heart, right there, that is based off of Ella's character, Amelia. So I don't have a channel mascot. Crumb is like kind of the mascot, but not really. Let me show you the two versions. So that's based off Ella's first paladin, Amelia Hearthwood, who, there you go, is the tall, beautiful Valkyrie-like Aasimar that to me is very, so like Ella's paladin, two paladins are very similar to her, you know, because she's like a fucking shield maiden, you know, taller than me, whatever, heroic figure in my eyes, the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, tall and strong and proud, just like her paladin. So her paladin is one of the emotes because I don't have, like I said, I don't have a mascot, I don't have a character, I don't have a VTuber, I don't have like whatever. So all my emotes are different characters from Eldara. So the Evanable Heart emote is actually Amelia Hearthwood, and you can kind of see the hair flick and stuff like that. And the first art I did for Ella is not actually this character. It was actually this one. This represents a terrified Evan. This is me just coming out of my like 8-year or long, like 7 year long stint of not making art. This was me not knowing how to make art again, terrified, worse than I was when I stopped, whatever. But I wanted to draw Ella's character for her. So I tried this like new weird kind of sketch style thing. I didn't know what I was doing. I was really not confident with it. But I drew Ella's character, Amelia. And this is probably one of the most important pieces of art I've ever made, because this piece of art represented me saying I'm going to try it again. But after years, I realized I couldn't stand how bad this piece of art was. So I made an upgraded. This is still a little bit old. This is like, yeah, 2023. Like I didn't even use my sketch brush for this. So it's a little bit old. But that's the character that emote's based off of, is actually this character, Amelia Hearthwood. So all the emotes have stupid lore behind them. If you're ever curious about an emote, I'm more than happy to tell you the silly little lore behind it. Aaron's favorite drawings are of scalies with eggs. Well, okay, if you're asking deviant art, they might say that, but I have never drawn a scaly laying eggs without getting paid. Now I'm kidding. Come on, that's a joke. I'm kidding, bro. Come on, man. Don't do me like that. Sorry if I was shrewd. No, you're good. You're good. Happy to talk about it. Happy to tell a tale. Not at all. Alright, wait. I gotta delete some shit here. Alright. Alright, we're getting there, man. We're arriving. Looks like you taught, or it looks like it taught you a lot, and damn, your art has grown 2 years. That's really heartening. Yeah, thank you. Holy shit. I appreciate that, Salesian. Yo, Enrique Tiki, thank you for continuing your sub that you got from Jacob. Thanks, dude. Thank you, Jacob, for having gifted that sub, and thank you, Riki, for continuing it. I'm honored, dude. Seriously, that's amazing. The support goes a long way, and although I don't feel worthy of the support you guys show me, I will endeavor to be worthy of it one day. So, thanks, dude. I appreciate it. But yeah, Salesian, I've had periods of growth over the last couple of years, and then periods of like kind of not really stagnation but maintenance. And I've been trying to grow a lot in the last like couple of months. Even from like where I first started with these request sketches to now, I feel like there's been an improvement. Like if you want to see where I first the first like kind of portrait style sketch I did like this, it was around the era of like this piece. So it's a whole lot like lower res, very like rough, very sketchy. And now I'm doing things more in line with my like kind of normal kind of level of finish and rendering. And I still like this piece. I think Talia is really cool, but it's like very, very like low res. You see there's a lot of like, you know, kind of sketchy lines and shit in there and whatnot. So yeah, I'm trying very, very hard right now to improve because, I don't know. I'm just feeling it, you know? I'm able to tolerate the struggle of improvement right now. So I'm embracing it. That doesn't sound too dramatic, I guess. Rams is too great here. I'm here for it. Ah, fuck yeah, dude. I appreciate it. Means a lot. Means a lot. Eldar's lovely world. The folks that I follow that do world building tend to make really vibrant worlds. They suck me into a point where I work up headcanon like our origins for Skysteel and the secret door for the guild hall. Hell yeah, man. Cool ass ideas too, like seriously, man. Like actually though, right? Well, hopefully Eldara can actually be something worthy of that kind of imagination. Inspire adventures. I'm so curious. The first time that I have the campaign guide good, and the first time somebody plays a campaign in Eldara beyond just the adventures, I'm so excited and so interested to see what like things are interesting enough like threads to tug at for the world, for people. What story beats are going to be worthy of people's D&D game adventures? You know? Hopefully, anyway. That or I'll get too many likes on this piece and just draw K-pop Demon Hunters fan art for the rest of my career. Could you imagine? Dethrone Ulner as my most viewed piece of art. Which is so funny that my most viewed piece of art ever is of my friend Ulner for a fan art sketch I did of her VTuber model. Absolutely hilarious to me. She thinks it's funny too, by the way. She thinks it's awesome. She even said it was her background screen for her phone. Bro, that's the most like coveted sort of like real estate for art for somebody, you know? Axe One Sprowers, dude, I can't make sense of that today. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. I'm sorry my brain's too crayon mode to read Twitch names properly, but I appreciate the follow. Thank you very much. You run a campaign on your Discord? I don't run a campaign right now. I've been too busy with my writing the adventure, but I'm gonna start running a new campaign for Ella, and we're actually gonna stream it. It's gonna be a one-on-one D&D campaign, hopefully, if Ella can actually get time to do it, because she's gotten just surprise flashbanged by like markets and things for her dice business, which is great problem to have, but it means that we've had to put a lot of things off to the side for a little while. But But that'll hopefully be a really fun campaign that people can watch on her channel and her stream. I'm really excited for that. Be our first long-term like live stream campaign. I did one stream game with a friend of mine who probably if you're newer here you've never met because her work schedule changed, named Galaxy Goldfish. But Fishy and I did this campaign for a while she was still in school, and then she like got a real like big girl job and shit, which sucks. But she couldn't maintain the schedule for our game anymore in the mornings when I stream. And then obviously she doesn't want to like, you know, interrupt her own kind of like content stuff for the evenings, and it's a whole thing, and yeah. But we played it for a while and it was really awesome. It was really fun. But haven't been able to get back to having a stream game in a while. The Deus Vult campaign, oh man, I'm excited for that. It's my next like kind of like passion project after the cards come out. Which no one tell Dark, but I successfully completed my first packaging tests. So I think we're on schedule for a July pre-release and an August release, hopefully. So but yeah. Oh, I don't know if Ella has a command like that. I think it's Blackwood. I don't know if her stream is on there. Why is Ella's stream not on there? What the fuck? There we go. But yeah, should be over there. We'll do it on her channel. It'll be fun. It'll be dumb little evening stream game stuff. So back had some pizza? Oh damn, bro. I'd kill for some pizza. Holy. You're living the good life. Welcome back, Leo. Good to have you. Pronounce Bry? Wait. Bry barbecue. Wait, Bry fire. I'm not smart enough for that. Oh boy, I'm not smart enough for that shit. Bry? Okay, alright. Close enough, right? Let's go, dude. What's going on with her jacket here? Oh, I don't think we'd see this one. I think we'd just see the line on the front. And then the stitch. So we'd see the stitch right here. Oh, that was supposed to be a stitch. I'm not as dumb as I thought I was, bro. Let's go. I knew what I was doing, kind of. Sometimes it works out and you realize you kind of had it right the first time. Almost. Almost. What dice have to follow, right? Well, I appreciate it. Seriously. Supporting Ella means the world to me, so. Yeah, I'm excited for her to actually be able to maintain her store, though. To not be, like, completely just drained by every market. But Ella does need to get on her advent calendar pre-orders because it's finally July, and she said she was doing them in July this year, knowing full well she's watching my stream and can hear me. Two Shift, thank you for the follow. Welcome in, my friend. Appreciate it. Honored to have you. Thank you, dude. Knowing full well Ella's listening and can hear everything I'm saying. And I hear her go silent on Discord downstairs. As she panics, realizing it's July. You're a figment of my imagination? Oh, shit. If you're just a figment, guys, looking for wife. Apparently I'm not married now. Any anime cat girls out there? Any gaming e-girls wanna get wifed up? Apparently I never, yeah, man. I just dreamed Ella as a delusion. You don't exist? Ah, all right, all right. You get until after Vegreville, and then you have to put up your pre-orders for your advent calendars. The good people are waiting. They're demanding it, Ella. They started coming into my chat and asking me when your pre-orders and stuff are going to be up and when your shop updates are going to be. It's infuriating. Come on, dog. Gaming e-girl fox girl who buy Ella Taco Bell once a week? Well, Ella doesn't exist, though. So you can't buy her Taco Bell. She's like, yeah, man. That's the problem. I thought Ella exists, but apparently I was wrong. No, come on, man. I'd never forget my current wife. Please. You think I could forget my current wife that easily? You think I'd ever forget Ella, that she could tell me she doesn't exist? Come on, man. I know better. I like your art. My target would be someone who can make the dice that my heart craves. Well, I feel that. I feel it. I feel that. Great soundtrack you got in the background. Thanks, Life Vines. It's all mostly music from either Adrian Von Ziegler, World of Warcraft, Byron Hens, or League of Legends. And if you want to nab it for your own usage or whatever, you can just search my name on Spotify and you can see the playlist. So, yep. Want Whitney's dice? Who's Whitney? Wait, what? Which one's a Whitney? I'm bad at this. I'm bad at remembering dice makers. My knowledge base is low. I'm sorry. Smoking glue guns. Oh, okay. That's okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, I know that. I'm good. Good there. All right, cool. Stitching, man, stitching. Ella, are you gonna do K-pop Demon Hunters dice to accompany my Rumi fan art? Come on, man. Why you never want to make art with me? Why you never want to do projects? We could call it a collab. You know, like when VTubers don't know how to admit that they want to be friends, they call it a collab instead of hanging out. Yeah, bro. Happy 4th. I don't know what Americans do for it, though. I don't know. The Americans in chat were telling me all about it, Leo, so apparently they have a wide range of things they do for 4th. But, yep. Wishing a very happy, healthy, and safe 4th of July to our American brothers and sisters south of the border. Absolutely making K-pop Demon Hunter dice? Well, there you go. You heard it here, my friends. Lady Blackwood of Ella Blackwood Dice. Doing the thing for the show that everybody's losing their mind over. We'll see if it beats out my shitty interpretation of Rumi. I continue to upset the masses with my non-anime version of an anime character. Kind of, anyway. Because some people really don't like it, man. They get really upset when they see the non-anime versions of their favorite anime. Right? Happy 4th. We consume many burgers and hot dogs and alcohol. We also shoot fireworks and sometimes guns into the air when it gets dark. But Sabine, that sounds a little dangerous. What? What? Drinking explosives, not a wide window. Well, it's what? Look, okay. Are we talking about like drinking explosives, like, you know, like Buffalo Trace and, you know, $1,000 worth of fireworks, or are we talking drinking explosives, like sneaking a bottle of Jack Daniels and, you know, the Gunny's moonshine downranged to go, I don't know, to go ruin someone's day that has to clean it all up? Like how, like, it's a wider window than you'd think. You just use Evans? Wait, for what? Oh yeah, Ella doesn't, she just uses my Discord basically. She doesn't want to maintain her own Discord. Come on, man. Ella is going to make her own Discord a proper thing in the fall, where she can do shop updates and other cool things like that, because she's trying to be a real creator of things, dice and otherwise. Squishy dice? No, don't eat the squishy dice, please. Adrian Von Ziegler, that guy's a music legend. Yeah, he's great. He's fantastic. Like, I think this is literally Adrian Von Ziegler's music right now. I could be wrong. I used to have a Spotify window up that just... Oh no, this is Naomi. Never mind, this is League of Legends. Whoops. Alright. Close enough. Elle's obviously a wise woman. She is, dude. She's the best. She's the best, right? I try to drive during peak festivities because what comes up must come down. The amount of emergency... Wait, what must comes... Oh, right. I guess you're shooting guns in the... Yeah, oh, that is dangerous. Amount of emergency faculty prepping for the influx of people missing fingers tonight. Ooh, yeah. What is it like to work in an emergency room on the 4th and 5th of July in in the United States of America? Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Busy night for them, right? Not fun. Lots of burns. Lots of drunk people. I guess Steel, you'd know. Yeah, you'd have experience, wouldn't you? Right. You guys sure know how to have a good time down there. That's what we're gonna call a good time, I guess. What if anyone's made cheese dice? Probably. I've seen it a couple times here and there. Yeah. Very dangerous. Must be right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey man, I'm jealous. Canada Day's a tame day for us, alright? We don't do shit. We don't do shit up here in Canada. For Canada Day. Maybe in Ottawa we do. Or the T-Dot. But certainly not out where I live, unfortunately. It's just another day. Nope, we just chill, man. Make dinner, do some work, go to bed. Okay, man. I feel like we're getting there. We might actually finish this on time, even with the color. Who knows, bro? Am I a real artist yet? We decided it was a good idea to throw gasoline on a bonfire and travel back to him and got his leg. Oh, yeah. Yeah, mm-hmm. Okay, well. You know? That'll get you. I mean, I imagine it would. I don't personally know. You think I throw gasoline on fires? Only Twitter drama. Now, we do have a little bit of a irresponsible amount of festivities coming up around where I live. The biggest city that I live near is Calgary, Alberta. And Calgary has an event every year called the Calgary Stampede. And it's a wild time, man. Like, if you're 22, you have the best week during Stampede. It's like a big, I don't know what the right description would be. It'd be like fair, like county fair. Massive county fair, I guess you could say, kind of thing. Rides, games, whatever, music. And it's all at this like permanent location called the Stampede Grounds, where they hold Stampede every year. And they use the Stampede Grounds for conventions and other things throughout the year, but during the Calgary Stampede, there's like a rodeo and chuck wagon races. It's massive. Millions, maybe hundreds of thousands, but maybe a million, but definitely at least hundreds of thousands of people attend the Stampede every year. One of the greatest events in Canada. And that starts this week. And oh boy, people get wild. People be on their worst behavior during the Calgary Stampede. It's either the best time or you stay the fuck home. One of the two things happens. Me, I stay home. I ain't into all that shit. Miss me with that going out and partying thing. I don't really drink or anything like that, so not about the bars and the clubs and the country stage and all that. Asked me he's gonna do it again. He said no. Yeah. Never made to Stampede one of these years. So Stampedes, I think Stampede is definitely something that you should go see. Once or twice. It's fantastic. Obviously, growing up in the city, there's like a well-known issue with growing up in the city that you have this problem of there being Stampede every year, and you always just say, "I'll go next year." Yeah, I'll go next year. It's fine. And then you realize you haven't been to Stampede in 10 years. You're like, "What the fuck?" And it's fun. It's fun. It's great. The actual Stampede is great. The whole city. If you want to avoid the kind of the side of it, avoid the clubs and the bars in the evenings. But like Stampede during the day is great. It's a big fair. There's like, I mean, it's like the Midway is like huge, right? It's this like massive, like, look at that, man. They got fucking Ferris wheels and roller coasters and shit, and the city background in there. You got rodeos and chuck wagons, and it's a great, really cool little Canadian experience. This isn't even like half the Midway, man. This is like a little corner of it over here. So it's really cool. It's really substantial. It's very neat. They do the Stampede parade, and it's all lit up and pretty, and you get all the fucking rodeos, and it's cool, man. It's very Western Canada, very cowboy. Everybody wears their cowboy boots and their blue jeans and their cowboy hats during Stampede. The city is really great to be in during Calgary Stampede. During the day. At night, they get wild, man. You better be somewhere safe, nestled, tucked into your bed. Because if midnight rolls around and you're on 17th Avenue, you're gonna see some shit you wish you hadn't seen, man. You're gonna see some shit that you ain't never seen before. That shit stays with you, man. Oh, you can just go look it up if you're curious. Shenanigans happen. Shenanigans. But it's great. It's a great, like, cool Canadian... Like, there's a couple, like, big Canadian festivals. Like, obviously, the Winter Festival in Montreal or Quebec City or whatever. And, Calgary Stampede. And I don't know if really Vancouver has anything like that. Vancouver has lots of, like, events and festivals and stuff. But nothing I don't think is, like, big as, like, the winter shit in French Canada or the Stampede. But it's definitely good to go see it at least a couple times. Some people make the trip every year, man. Some people like, especially people from Vancouver and shit, they make the trip out. East Coasters don't come out this far. They don't give a shit. The people from like Vancouver, they drive out, man, like sometimes every year. I would meet people all the time when I was working at the game store around Stampede Week. We'd have people coming in all the time that are like, hey man, wow, first time in the game store or whatever. Like they'd come to town for it, and while they're in town, they would see the sights and sounds of Calgary and go to like the game stores if they're fucking loser nerds like me. But we'd had like people who'd come in every single year, right? There was this really nice, like, you know, older than me couple. I don't want to say middle age, but whatever. It's like older couple that they'd come to Stampede every year, and they would come to the game store, and they would buy like several $1,000s worth of gaming stuff. Because apparently Vancouver just at the time, maybe it's changed in the last 10 years, but 10 years ago, apparently Vancouver didn't have any good game stores. I don't know. Never been to Vancouver game stores, so I can't comment. And it's certainly not at that time. But they would come out and they would buy everything from Warhammer to obscure mini games to a lot of board games, paint, a ton of cards for like Pokemon, World of Warcraft TCG, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic. They'd buy fucking everything. They'd buy like a box of this, 2 boxes of that, box for this game. They'd come in every fucking year, literally, and spend, like, I mean it, like $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 on their gaming shit for the year. You know, and you knew they were coming out, right? That you knew they were, you know, coming to town when Stampede rolled around, and they loved it. They came out for Stampede, and they would just do their shopping. They would enjoy the city, and then drive the fuck back to Vancouver with their hoard of loot from the game store, I guess. What's up, Silence? What's going on, dude? How you doing? For us, it's rugby night for the World Cup. When we won the World Cup last time, guy randomly kissed my mom. What? We South Africans are so bread-and-ween? Wait, what? Brandy and Afrikaans. I see. Not fancy, everyone drinks and gets super drunk. By the time we win, besides the kids and me who are also too young to drink. Oh, I see. Everyone's just... Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't know. It sounds like not a good time in my estimation, but I feel like people, they're having fun. They're being well behaved. Who knows? It's only 10 to 11 hour drive, piece of cake. You know, that's the thing though. Driving between Calgary and Vancouver is an experience. I used to make the drive fairly often because my brother and sister-in-law went to school at BCIT and UBC. And so we would drive out to like take them to school for the year or whatever, and then pick them up and all their shit. And so I made that drive a bunch. And then also we had family in Vancouver. So I've done the fucking Coca-Cola Trans-Canada drive a billion times, and I think it's really nice. I would rather do a 12-hour Vancouver drive than, like, this summer we're going to see Ella's family in Saskatchewan, and it's like a 6-7 hour drive away or whatever from where we are, or 8 hours, something like that. I would rather do a 12-hour drive through the mountains than a fucking 5-hour drive in the prairies. Oh, it's so boring. Oh god, it's just flat. Occasionally you drive by a pasture of cows and maybe some canola farms or whatever. Oh god, it's the worst. It feels abyssal driving through the prairies in Canada. You get this feeling of, like, you know, like that human terror when you like look into the darkness, right? That like Lovecraftian horror style thing, or like the feeling of looking down, if you're like in the ocean, down into the abyss where the light just fades away into darkness, and you're like, oh my god. I get that feeling when I'm driving through the prairies, man. I had to drive north of Edmonton once, and I'm like, oh my god, the next civilization is fucking Russia. Oh god, if I keep going north, if I keep going further north, man, I'm gonna hit the fucking coast, and I'm gonna go across the Arctic Sea, and I'm gonna hit Russia. Oh my god, I think a straight line across the world was something like Kazakhstan for the next big city or whatever. Oh, sends me chills, man. Whew. Finally found a group to D&D with. Let's go, dude. I'm excited for you. That's awesome. Playing or GMing? That's dope. Back to podcast mode. All right, Steel. Good luck. I'm cheering for you, bro. Sammy kind of reminds me of Gremlins, the movie, or werewolves on a full moon. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's fine. People just get wild in the evenings. It's not that bad. It's like not too dangerous or anything. It's just too rowdy for me, man. I'm not much into the clubbing scene, the concert scene, the evening crowd. Never have been, so them letting loose and wilding out is just a little much for me, I guess. Never been a party goer or anything along that line. I'm a pretty boring person like that, you know. I don't do shit besides stay at home and work. Play the occasional video game. Go out on the occasional weekend to play a Pokemon Go event. Or some shit, I don't know, man. Our excitement on our last trip through Kansas was counting cow herds. Oh, wow. Yeah, maybe I can count oil field equipment, abandoned farm machinery, and the occasional grain elevator that still hasn't been ripped down or whatever. At my base, it's still rowdy. Yeah, very. Very. I agree with the concept. The only real thing about the drive through the mountains is when there's a problem, it's hard to bypass and you just have to wait. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's entirely fair. If there's some shit, some traffic or whatever, man, you are screwed. There's like a train ride from either Calgary or Edmonton, I forget, through to Vancouver that I always wanted to do. The old like CP rail route through the mountains, and you get to see like parts of the mountains that you don't see from the highways and stuff. Vistas and views, and not have to worry about being in an uncomfortable front seat of a car. You get to be in a nice luxury train cab. I always thought it'd be fun to do. I think it's quite expensive, so fuck that, man. Yeah. Makes me think of like Mardi Gras or something. Now that not that I've ever been, but at least seen pics. Yeah, maybe not as chaotic or something. The streets don't like there's only one street in the city that gets entirely. It's a pretty big, long like section of downtown that gets completely closed off for Stampede. What the hell? What did I just do? Oh god. That, yeah, like only one like major street. It's not like the entire core of downtown gets shut off. But there's also a tradition called the Stampede Breakfast. I realize this is probably one of the most unique things about Stampede Breakfast, or about the Stampede people don't know about. The Stampede Breakfast is a tradition whereby lots of businesses or locations will host a Stampede Breakfast. So like some of the bigger corporate offices, TELUS, Shaw, those ones, they'll hold Stampede breakfasts somewhere. The rec centers, the whatever, the like shopping malls, they'll hold Stampede breakfasts. And basically you go there and it's like free breakfast, and it's like a whole fucking tradition that these companies and whatever make breakfast for like the community, the employees, whatever. And so you can go get Stampede breakfasts, like that's our premier and our mayor, so they'll like do a big Stampede breakfast downtown. I'm not sure who these guys are. I'm guessing they're also public office officials or whatever. But or more sorry, premier. Premier is a Canadian word for a governor that someone who's in charge of a province but doesn't have the kind of power that a governor has necessarily, because provinces aren't the same as states. But basically our governor and our mayor for the city that I'm close to. But yeah, Stampede breakfasts are awesome. You go and you just get fucking free pancakes and shit, man. and you just wear your cowboy shit out, man, and just like, you know, people like will try and go to as many Stampede breakfasts as they can, not just for the free food, but the good vibes. Because like there'll be like an event, you know, the Stampede breakfast we went to last year was at a place close to where one of my parents lives, and it was like there was like, I don't know, all the local businesses were out and had little tents and little things to go see and do. There's like a little petting zoo and shit and whatever, and some live music, and they're just fun little, like, I don't know, local things or whatever that you can go see. That's also the bigger tradition of Stampede in some ways is Stampede Week and all the things you do around the city. So you do the breakfasts, there's lots of like things and stuff for the kids to do and whatnot. A lot of people have events and summer camps and things in the major sort of city parks and whatever during the day, especially on the weekends. Then there's the actual Stampede grounds, the events that come with it. There's like a lot of like musicians, like the concerts. If you're like a country music fan or even just a modern sort of pop music fan, there's like a lot of big names that come to the city for the music festival too. There's like the country one, the Nashville North, and then the main sort of one. I don't know which is the relevant one people would know about, but like, I don't know who any of these people are because I'm not really big into country music, but like, I guess these are like big people in the country scene, I suppose. And then like the more modern one, I still don't know who these people are, but you know, Diplo, oh my god. Yeah, like it's cool. Oh my god, Simple Plan. Holy shit, bro. I could be like a fucking boomer in there. Natasha Bedingfield, what? De La Soul, Lil Jon, oh my god, Young Gravy, holy shit, bro. Yeah, so I don't know. It's like there's a ton. It's not, people think when they think about Stampede, they just think about like it's like a rodeo with like a fair. It's like the whole city just like explodes with stuff to do for a week and a half or whatever, 2 weeks or some shit. Take care of your life vines. Be good, my friends. I'll catch you later. Have a good one. Like if I was to ever do an EldarCon in Calgary, which would be easiest for me because I'm closest to it, I'd probably do EldarCon during Stampede because there'd be stuff to come see and do at the city besides just EldarCon. I wouldn't want people to come to an EldarCon and not have something else to do besides EldarCon, because I think that it's like going to Canada, like, dude, there's better options than Calgary. Like Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal is way better options than Calgary, Edmonton, the two cities I'm close to. But if you come during like Calgary Stampede, then it's awesome. Then it's fucking lit. So who knows, man? We might do an EldarCon in a year or two, an in-person actual release event, D&D games, a whole thing, a little mini convention. I was really inspired by this TTRPG convention called ArdCon that Elle and I went to as vendors this like last month. It's basically this guy who like really just likes TTRPGs. He's made his own like mini TTRPG con. He just like decided he was gonna do it, and people like love that shit. And like Elle and I did very well at it. People loved the art and dice and whatever. It was just another like a very focused gaming nerd con for the city for TTRPGs. It wasn't like all pop culture, whatever, anime, everything like that. It was like mostly just TTRPG shit, which was like really cool. Very focused. It was very small. It was at like a little community center, and it was like pretty scuffed and pretty shitty, but it had like amazing vibes, and people like attended and loved it, and like hundreds and hundreds of people went. And so it was like, damn, bro. It made me expand my mental sort of thought process of what EldarCon could be and what the possibilities of EldarCon could be. That it wouldn't just be a thing about Eldara, but TTRPGs in general as well, and I could like invite other vendors and have a whole thing and be a whatever, and like, yeah, man, I don't know. Got me thinking about possibilities for future EldarCons. Hold it during Stampede. People come to the city from stream, because there's a lot of, dude, the amount of Dragon's Claim members that are like, tell me when the dates are, I will be on a plane, you dipshit. You guys wouldn't even know. There's like I don't know, what's the term? Sleeper cell Dragon's Claim members that can't ever come to the stream because they have like real jobs and shit, but are like the lockdown era original TDC members that still maintain subs and still come and support me every once in a while and still stop by stream. That are like, dude, as soon as there's a physical in-person Elder Archon, you don't know, you don't understand, man. So I'm taking their threats seriously, okay? Taking their threats seriously. Formal art lectures too. Everyone will have to wear a suit. Ooh. At ArtCon, they had actually a workshop about character design, and one of the organizers was like, "Dude, I had no idea that we had an artist like you here." And I was like, "Oh yeah, thanks, man." He's like, "Dude, next year you have to do a workshop for us, right? Like you'll do a workshop on you know, art for TTRPGs, right? Please agree. Please agree." I was like, "Okay, maybe just chill out, bro. Chill, man." So maybe I'll do my first test run art workshop lecture at ArdCon next year, Atari, and we'll see how it goes. I don't want to be here, but ever since I started night shift, it's been a pain since I don't wake up until right now. Yeah, totally fair enough, Night. Like I, you know, appreciate you like stopping by and just saying hi, man. Like it means a lot. I know that like schedules change and things or whatever, and it's a whole thing, and daytime, you know, streaming isn't like that easy for a lot of our NA TDC members, but I just appreciate the presence, bro. No, screw it. Went to a con that I thought was going to be like that once. It was so sad. It turned out to be a group of like 15 friends who did this every year but intentionally didn't advertise the con. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, weird. Of course, someone would want you teaching art brush. You're amazing. I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, I don't know. I might do it next year if they ask me to. Not that I could even stream it. That'd be funny. Live stream my lecture from the ArtCon. I don't know if I'm have the authority to talk about shit like that. My art school is trying to get me to do a talk there, though. They're like, dude, bro. Okay, they don't call me bro, but basically they call me bro. Like, bro, you should come back to your art school and do a talk to the students, man. I'm like, you just want to ask me for money and show off that one of your students has relevant. Maybe. I don't know, man. I feel like I have very different views on art school than my art school might have. I'd be afraid that I'd stir the waters, if you know what I mean. Reveal the secrets to the students. Tell them that your grades don't matter, and if your instructors ask you to do something stupid, do your own project anyway, and you'll be glad that you did. Take the lower letter grade to make something better for your portfolio. They won't like that shit if I say it. So Tiny did not make any money with that table. Damn. Yeah, that's tough, man. Like the discussion and love the arts has kind of sucked for the stream and a number of others. Yeah, man. Well, hey, at least you're out there getting it. Like, you know, hope you're doing well, though. The night shift is a good adjustment. You charge your art school money for your expertise? I should. Because they think that it's like, they're like, man, we want our alumni to come and be so relevant and be so cool. And we're going to be like, wow, look at all of our relevant, cool alumni. And like, you know, like art schools love to do that. But the problem is basically everyone who we did this on stream a little while ago. It's kind of funny. We went to my art school and looked at the like notable alumni, and no one who's actually a notable alumni is on their notable alumni, because I don't think that they like announce themselves to the school or whatever. You know, everyone who's on the notable alumni thing has basically some connection with the school, and you more or less have to basically contact the school and say, hey, by the way, I'm relevant. And then your school looks at you and you're like, are you? Oh shit, you are. Yeah, we're gonna brag about you now. But everyone I know, like the artists that I like, even the ones from my year that I graduated with, like Serena Melion and Simon Roy, that both have like massive followings and are hugely successful, and like Sean Yang and fucking like Fish and Bacon. All these artists that I know that are actually at the top of the industry doing what they're doing, none of them are on the alumni list because they just don't. I'm guessing they just like never thought to like call the school and be like, hello, art school? Yes, this is me. I am relevant. Please feel free to brag about me so I can brag about you bragging about me. So it's like a whole weird thing. There was even like an opportunity to do some teaching stuff, but I don't think I'd be a very good instructor at art school. What's weird though is I still feel too young to be an instructor at art school. But when I think about it, I had 2 or 3 instructors that were my age now, or a little bit younger, when I was at art school. I was like, damn, bro, I'm older than like Mike or Maya or whoever were when they were teaching me a class. I'm like, God, what the hell? Yeah, I should go teach a class and live stream it. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, art school. Please don't get mad at me. Yeah, so maybe I'll go back and do a little lecture. I do think though that like unless it became a thing after, which it probably did, after I graduated, I don't know a lot of the people from my school that went off and did the whole freelance thing with like streaming and videos and shit like that. I don't know almost any of them. They all either went to the industry or they did the formal freelance route, right? Like they have like big clients and studios they work with, as opposed to like talking about stupid shit and making projects and whatnot. And whatever the nonsense we get up to. Maybe I will explore that. Give back a little bit. I always think of this one instructor I've had in the past, that his name was Tim, and he did the most amazing instructional work of any art instructor I've ever had, outside of art directors from like companies that I've worked with briefly. But my man here, he was like this super successful graphic designer, and like he did all these other things and started multiple businesses. Bro had like millions in the bank, drove his fancy Porsche SUV to school every day from his fucking millionaire mansion out in the mountains. Like he'd have to be late sometimes in the winter because the highways would close, because he had like some fucking giga mansion out there. And he was so unbelievably successful. And we were chilling one day, but he was so down to earth and relatable, and like actually gave us the best like advice and like input, and like actually taught us things. Like he would grab tracing paper and draw over our art, instead of being like, I think you should explore more dynamic shapes in the composition. He'd be like, no, your rocks are wrong. Here's how you draw them. You'd have like little like fucking boulder, and he would like slap a piece of tracing paper over, and then like actually show you how to like form shapes or whatever, and how to make interesting sort of things and whatnot. And then you take that piece of tracing paper and fucking covet it, because it was the only actual art instruction we got, like actual demonstrational shit. So best instructor we had, all one of the best anyway, all art school. And one day we're all chilling, and he was just, you know, I don't know, we were just shit talking whatever at the end of class one day, and my friend Chris was like, dude, why do you do this, man? You got the Porsche, you got the whatever, you make so much money, you got like, why do you teach a class at art school?
And he said more or less because it was his responsibility to do so. And it was the first time I ever heard an artist who was very successful say that you had a responsibility to teach. And most of the big successful artists that I've worked with or for or whatever have said something similar. He was the first one that I ever heard that from. He said, because who else is going to teach you idiots how to do this properly? And he wasn't like casting shade on our existing instructors, but he had a point. It's kind of like, he had this idea that if you went off and you learned how to be like a big boy artist and you didn't come back and try and like teach the next little generation of peepos, who would? And the answer is nobody. And then that's how our skills die. Like artists who are classically trained, which is like every good artist at a certain point in time, whether that classical training is self-directed or not, they will all go through like a lineage where you can kind of trace back how you learned and where you learned your skills back to one of the big European schools. Like so-and-so learned this from this, learned this from this, learned this from this, and is now, you know, teaching you how to draw like anime cat girls on YouTube. And you're like, oh damn, there is that like traceable lineage thing. And maybe I should go back to my school and teach a class or something. Teach the little art peepos how to art peepo. That could be kind of fun. I need that kind of direct instruction when I was in art school. Yeah, it's so amazing that it wasn't more common, Legion. Right? And that's because a lot of the instructors that we had were not necessarily like, I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be mean. A lot of our instructors weren't necessarily skill-wise, I think, qualified to teach. They just could articulate a curriculum that, if you know what I mean, ish. And they could critique the work. They could give feedback, but they couldn't actually teach things or show you how to do it. But this guy did that shit. He would just bust out his red fucking pen and show you exactly and precisely all the ways to do the thing you're trying to do, but this time correct. And it was very helpful. It was the first time that anyone had ever done that for me, that ever like busted out a red pen and then done like and now it's very common. People will get like paint overs. Like that's a big thing in the art like education scene on the internet, is you can get artists that will do paint overs for your work. Or they'll paint over your mistakes and show you how to like do them properly and whatever. And it's very useful. And it's common practice at like real art schools and big mentorships, like, you know, Art Center and Brainstorm or whatever. They'll do shit like that because it's very useful for the little art peepos, but not so much at the school that I went to. It's amazing. It was funny that the best instructor that I ever had, the best art teacher I ever had, was the most successful one that didn't need to teach, that decided that he should because it was the right thing to do as an artist. And that put a lasting impression on me. So,
Evan.
Yes,
Evan,
that's me. Hello. Hi. Okay, have fun.
Get music playlist made for
yes, that's important.
2 hours long.
Okay. All right, TPK the party. And I want to hear the stories about all the tears on Monday. But have a good time, Azalea. Hope you have the best D&D game. Thanks for the bits, though. I appreciate that. Thank you. Enjoy yourself. Holy, I wish I was playing D&D. So they had some instructors who were in their own right, were skilled artists, but they had the opposite issue. They weren't teachers. They couldn't articulate how you should do things. Yeah, and I think that it's almost better. So what I should say is it wasn't the opposite. They weren't good teachers either. They could articulate a curriculum, but they weren't good teachers. So they weren't great artists, and they weren't great teachers, right? Some of them were okay, like you said, they're okay artists in their own right, you know, like whatever. But I'd rather have a good artist poorly articulating and poorly teaching than having, you know, like someone who's trying their best but ultimately doesn't know how to like fix problems. And when you're like, especially like technical things, like there were tons of things where I would have loved to get a piece of advice on how to do something in Photoshop, but some of the instructors, actually a lot of the instructors, were more old school, so they were illustrators for like back in the old day of Illustrator shit. So like print, and they use things like gouache and watercolor. And so you're like, how does make brush feel better in Photoshop? And they'd be like, I don't fucking know. Hey, if you want to learn properly, you can just go back to doing, traditional. And like, that's fine. But the issue is, if you wanted to go be a concept artist, which they even had like a course, the course that I was in was geared for concept art. So you could be an illustrator and like go do the gouache thing. But if you wanted to go be a concept artist, like I sort of the path that I wanted to take, you have to learn digital. You absolutely have to learn digital at a certain point in time. So like 4th year, you could do projects however you wanted. But by 4th year, I only wanted to do things in digital because that's the portfolio I wanted to build for the kind of job I wanted to get. And I'd ask them how to do shit, and they're like, I don't know. Here's the tutorial they gave us, and it's like some fucking photocopied piece of paper. This was like 2011, 12, 13, that kind of, no, sorry. No, wait, earlier, like 8, 9, 10, 11. So there wasn't a lot of formal instruction on how to do stuff, let's just say, for digital. We were kind of like figuring it out on our own. It's kind of guerrilla. And if only I had a little bit of that, like, assistance for the tool, I could have probably gotten a lot further, a lot quicker. But oh well, right? I did get lucky though. I think a lot of people go to the art school that's close to them because they think that it's all art schools are the same, and they end up getting a really bad education. They think art school's full of shit because they went to a place that didn't really have the right to teach art. They have a soured opinion on art school in general. The place I went was at least like passable. It didn't screw me up. You know what I mean? Oh my god, dude, my hand's killing me. Oh Jesus. I gotta like give myself a break over the weekend, but so much work to do. Oof. All right, we're missing a medallion, but I can finish that later. But basically, this is, I guess we're at a good point then. I gotta fucking stop working on this piece. I also have to leave early today, so I was gonna stream until about 2, and it's just 10 minutes too. So I could have finished this in 10 minutes, but I'm not pushing my arm. I ain't doing that shit to myself. Not today, man. Not when I have important things to do, like I don't know, big projects or whatever. So I think we'll call it there, man. But yeah, I gotta go drive into town for some shit for 2:30. So I will end it there. All right, my friends. There it is. That was stream for the week. Hey, thanks for chilling. I appreciate it. I had fun this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the streams. We got a lot of different projects done, a lot of cool things talked about and whatever done. I don't know, all kinds of nonsense. It was fun, man. It was a good week. I had a good time. Next week will be a little bit different because I'll be live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday probably, and then Friday not gonna be there live Friday because I have to go to the Ren Fair with Ella. So wish me luck selling art. Hopefully the nerds like it. And then I'll also be off on Monday for next week. So I'll be gone for 4 full days there. I apologize. I won't be home in time for the Monday stream, but the Ren Fair ends too late and it's too far away for us to make it home in a reasonable and not absolutely exhausting amount of time. So do not want to make that nighttime drive after working a full, fucking week of weekend of Ren Fair and then having to take everything down and then get in the car and drive for 6 hours or whatever. So yeah, we're staying the night on Sunday probably and be home Monday later. So be live then next Tuesday, but whatever. That's all for next weekend. This weekend, we're going to do some cool shit. We're going to go out there's a Pokemon Go community day. We're going to go out and do that for a little bit and have some fun, take the dog out to the park, do a bunch of work. I'll try and nurse the arm better and do some stretches and stuff. So hopefully we're back in working order on Monday. So I'll see you guys next Monday. Take care. Have fun. Have a good weekend. And until next time, my friends, happy 4th of July. Don't blow your fingers off with fireworks. Avoid alcohol poisoning. And farewell.